Setup testing, everybody. I'm just at 8 or 9 o'clock. Me and Carrie will continue with gray matter, but until then, testing a new setup to see if I can stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, and it looks like it's working. I had trouble setting this up the first time that I did this. It did not work at all. So let me know if you could hear both music and the mic on both of them, and also the levels. So my mic right now, that's not what I need to fucking look at. My mic right now and music that would be at red flag's pretty short, this level.
All greatness, the majority of greatness in itself doesn't come with goodness. The two don't coexist with one another. And all great men are not good men. Just your power.
All right. So, Lamont, honestly, I haven't even listened to the whole thing yet. I've been busy. Always up to something. So, Freddie, Lamont, you're on YouTube right now. Freddie, you're on Twitch. Are the vocal and music levels even? Because I don't ever go back and watch anything that I do. I just kind of like do it and then I'm off from there. Just need to make sure the levels check out like they always did. And then we're going to test one more thing right now, because I need to know something. Because every time I run a Pro Tools session on Twitch and I go back and listen to it, the bottom end is distorted as shit. And it pisses me off. So, I'm going to play a Pro Tools session. Alright, I was working on stronger. I'm going to play this Pro Tools session, and I want you guys to let me know how it sounds on each of your things. And then that's the last thing we got to check. Then I'm just going to fucking play beats and smoke weed until Carrie shows up. There's no reason to stop this stream. Alright, let me know what this sounds like.
Strong enough to take the pain. Inflicted again and again. What do they call me?
My name, bitch.
My name is strong.
Yo, the moonlight shines on the New York skyline. Midtown is lit up, the city is mine. As I drive across Queensbridge, I see it clearly from my POV. This is fact, not theory. Yeah, that rapper got money, but that rapper can't walk through this concrete jungle cause he doing it wrong. New York belongs to Don P. You can have the rest of the world, I'm good with these streets. Skyscrapers and housing buildings. I know about London, but I prefer Brooklyn. I know about Marseille, but I prefer Queens. And while you hire cops, I prefer my team. I got a powerful army, it's no need for a gun. You want hardcore rap, you fucking with the right one. This is maximum strength, there's no need for drugs. You want reality rap, homie, you got the right one.
Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
Maybe once every tangerine moon, I'll be in the mood to paint the town red with your corpuscles and plasma, some violent art. These thoughts in the corners of my mind are dark, but then the Times Square lights, they switch my whole attitude. Reminds me of billions that loot. I must persist, I must pursue the rest of my success. I am not through. They tried to put my run to an end, but it sure is the point on the state building. I stand tall, wipe the dirt off my clothes when I fall down. I'm way too strong. This is my town, my subways and sidewalks. I done ran through these gutters like a tunnel rat, waist deep inside of the shit, in the midst of the action where people get hit.
Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
You ain't never been touched means you don't participate within the fuckery. You stay comfortably distant from pain infliction. Meanwhile, I'm flirting with death. She put her lipstick on the collar of my shirt next to my jugular. I ain't trying to keep her, I just wanna fuck her when I pass through. I'm too committed to life. She a bitch, but I love her, refuse to part from her. I'm Destiny's child, I survived it all. The Most High got a special plan just for me. My table is set with cake days. I'm a little bit late, but it's okay. My future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. I follow in the footsteps of LL Cool J, 50 and P Diddy. My relentless drive to thrive and prosper made me
strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
Alright, we're gonna figure this out live right now. We're gonna figure this out.
Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again.
Let me know whenever
What
it gets
do they
fucked up.
call me?
know my name, bitch.
My name
Edward,
is
what up, homie?
strong.
Yo, the moonlight shines on the New York skyline. Midtown is lit up, the city is mine. As I drive across Queensbridge, I see it clearly from my POV. This is fact, not theory. Yeah, that rapper got money, but that rapper can't walk through this concrete jungle cause he doing it wrong. New York belongs to Don P. You can have the rest of the world, I'm good with these streets. Skyscrapers and housing buildings. I know about London, but I prefer Brooklyn. I know about Marseille, but I prefer Queens. And while you hire cops, I prefer my team. I got a powerful army, it's no need for a gun. You want hardcore rap, you fucking with the right one. This is maximum strength, there's no need for drugs. You want reality rap, homie, you got the right one.
strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
Maybe once every tangerine moon, I'll be in the mood to paint the town red with your corpuscles and plasma, some violent art. These thoughts in the corners of my mind are dark, but then the Times Square lights, they switch my whole attitude. Reminds me of billions that loot. I must persist, I must pursue the rest of my success. I am not through. They tried to put my run to an end, but it sure is the point on the state building. I stand tall, wipe the dirt off my clothes when I fall down. I'm way too strong. This is my town, my subways and sidewalks. I done ran through these gutters like a tunnel rat, waist deep inside of the shit, in the midst of the action where people get hit.
Strong enough to take the pain.
Sean, we're trying to figure out a static issue right
inflicted
now.
Again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
You ain't never been touched means you don't participate within the fuckery. You stay comfortably distant from pain
now?
Infliction. Meanwhile, I'm flirting with death. She put her lipstick on the collar of my shirt next to my jugular. I ain't trying to keep her, I just want fuck her when I pass through. I'm too committed to life. She a bitch, but I love her, refuse to part from her. I'm Destiny's child, I survived it all. The Most High got a special plan just for me. My table was set with cake for days. I'm a little bit late, but it's okay. My future's so bright that I gotta wear shades. I follow in the footsteps of LL Cool J, 50 and P. Diddy. My relentless drive to thrive and prosper made me.
Alright, what about now?
Strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. What do they call me? My name is strong.
Alright, what about now?
What do they?
Alright, that was it. I figured it out. Well, you guys helped me figure it out. So, now I know what to do whenever I stream. You have to, if I'm streaming out of Pro Tools, in order for them to be able to compress the data, it's got to be mono. So, alright, we have figured it out. Yeah, thank you guys. Shout out to the community for helping me figure this out. So now I can mix live again, because I prefer to do it while people watch, because it makes me, it's like being under the microscope. So yeah, Carrie will be here in 20 minutes for Gray Matter. Until then, I'm just going to play some beats and smoke some weed and figure out the rest of this setup. It's fucking dope, man. I've been waiting to do... I knew I had to go live and actually have somebody watching to give me live feedback on how to fucking figure this out, because it's been bothering me. I think I need to get a new interface, which is not a big problem. I've needed a new one for a while. Universal Audio just came out with the Volt interfaces. I've been looking at one of those. Alright, what the fuck do I want to play?
find in the Kandarian rune, a volume of ancient Sumerian burial practices and funerary incantation. It is entitled Naturon de Monto, translated Book of the Dead. Find in the Kandarian rune, a volume of ancient Sumerian burial practices and funerary incantation. It is entitled Naturon de Monto, translated Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead.
No matter what the people say.
Book of the Dead.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Word, I'm back, blunts in hand. Sean Brooks, thanks, homie. Dead set. I can't remember what your other name is now that we're on Twitch. Fuck. Anyway, thanks, homie. Audi, what up? Edwin, what up? Reyes. What up, homie? Yeah, man. The return of morning meditation. It's here. I'll see you tomorrow morning, dude. Original man, what up? Buddha. Ah, see? God damn it. I told you, Larry Bird, there's too many of them. There's too many, and it just confuses the shit out of me. I'm so used to seeing your avatar. But you can, this is the beauty of Restream, is that you can go to YouTube or Twitch. I will be streaming on both of them at the same time. For some things. Still haven't figured out the YouTube thing with Mob Deep Monday and RIP TV. We're going to keep getting banned on there. Yo, I think the wolf broke my nose the other day. Shit looks crooked. It hurts too. Yeah, man. So, morning meditation. We're back in full effect. Which is good. I need to get back into that shit. Need to start working out again and whatnot. Gotta work out the brain first. So, I'm essentially just waiting for Carrie to pop in. Should be anytime soon. And we will get to this week's episode of Gray Matter. Until then, let me play another motherfucking beat while I roll a blunt. What should I play? Oh, this one's so good. enough of that, and let's get to. Hold on, I gotta fix one thing, and we're on. Forgot to change that from last night. So I figured out a way to stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
Bang bang.
So yeah, I've been on for like the last 40 minutes trying to figure out how to fucking
Hold on a second.
get this thing going.
Yeah.
Sean, did we hit static again? God damn it. I thought I heard it. I'm gonna have to get a new interface. This shit is pissing me off. All right. So, it's time for this week's episode of Gray Matter, where all we do is talk about NFL football because all other sports are stupid. And where the overall arching theme is nothing is ever just black and white except the host. I don't know where Carrie went to. Probably getting that drink. Maybe Nice will pop in tonight. I doubt it. That's always too funny. Like, absolutely fucking hysterical when Nice decides to show up. Yeah, Buddha, I gotta get another interface before I go back live, mix it on this, because this shit is what's causing all the static. It's even still in mono and it went all staticky on me again. We'll see if I can fix it. Shout out to my motherfucking homie, Roger Harper, for sending me this authentic Atlanta Falcons Roger Harper jersey, which is hilarious because these shits are thick as hell. And all this shit is sewn on. Now I understand why they're $200. What I do think is hilarious about the NFL is after games, if the players want to swap jerseys like they often do in the NBA, they make the players pay for those jerseys. There's multi-billion-dollar franchises, and they make the players pay for these $200 jerseys if they want to swap them with other players and shit. They fine them if they charge them if they throw a ball into the stands. Absolutely hysterical. I'm wondering what the delay difference is between YouTube and Twitch. Oh shit, I gotta do one more motherfucking thing.
What a day.
As always.
Non-stop. Non-stop.
Let's see, Gray Matter.
You'd have been laughing today. I had to moderate this audiobook panel. So I had to, announce the name of the panel, and I introduced myself, and I was like, oh, wait. Let me redo that.
You had to do it the right way.
This is going to be moderated by Carrie.
Hi. The timing.
I saw her laughing.
Yeah, the timing is always so impeccable through the different parts of your name.
Yeah.
What up, homie?
Chilling, man. It's been a busy few weeks, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the off season, so.
Sure.
So we'll just get right into it.
Yeah.
I should, you know what? I'm gonna start doing get ahead of myself and actually have things to talk about instead of just being like, oh, let me go look at the headlines and let's just fucking freestyle this shit. Gotta get better. Gotta get better at this. So the Packers.
Yes.
Free agency news is really all hinging on Aaron Rodgers and his decision. It's really come down to two things. He's either going to retire or play for the Packers. He's not going somewhere else. That's pretty much a guarantee.
saying, like,
So Gutekunst also said that no one's even called the Packers about a trade for Aaron Rodgers.
because everybody feels like he's going to stay.
Well, not only that, what are they going to want?
Huh?
What are they going to want?
Yeah, true.
And what's he? $50 million? Is he going to want $50 million to go somewhere else?
And he will, if he does that, he will gut another franchise.
Yeah, 100%. You're going to make that run for his Super Bowl window, and then you're done after that. Kind of what's going to happen to the Bucks right now.
Yeah. Plus, he's on a squad that still can contend. So, you just add a piece here, a piece there. They still there.
Yeah, this season, the collapse in the playoffs, which is imminent with the Packers, where you should usually say, oh, that was a bad coaching decision, kicking the field goal would not allow Aaron Rodgers to go for it or fourth inside the 5 a couple of years ago. And then they didn't get the ball back. Stupid decision. And then, last year, however they lost, there was always placating blame elsewhere besides Aaron Rodgers. This past season, nah, man, you sucked in the playoffs, dude. He sucked. That's the worst I've ever seen him play.
It was bad.
It was so bad. So it was kind of on him this year, dude.
Yeah. Can't lay blame
He definitely
on
can't.
anybody.
So, the biggest rumor right now is that the GOAT, we talked about this before, but there's still serious chatter about the GOAT going to San Francisco for a season. They also believe that Trey Lance isn't ready yet.
That's what I heard. I was like, that's a little, but you know what? Here's the problem. It's just that I say over these past 8 to 10 years especially, you've had a couple quarterbacks come in and play early and been able to have success. Do remember Aaron Rodgers sat for his 4 seasons?
4 seasons.
Steve McNair sat for 4 seasons.
That's how it used to be.
That's how it used to be. You sat.
Peyton Manning was like the first really thrown into and he sucked his first year anyway. His rookie year, he led the league in interceptions. They were terrible.
Terrible.
So it's just recent. So tying into that, one of those studs being Herbert, who wasn't supposed to start. He got thrust into it.
Yep.
And they just found out, oh, no, he's a gamer. This guy's for real. So 2 years ago, after Brady left the Patriots, there were only 2 teams that were interested in Tom Brady. 2 teams out of 31 who didn't have Tom Brady before said, nah, we're good. Including the Colts, who went with Carson Wentz instead, and kept Phillip Rivers and then went with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that was.
The Bucks obviously being one of them.
Let's pause that. If Tom Brady went to the Colts,
Oh my God, they'd have won the Super Bowl
how
anyway.
insane that would have been.
Yeah.
How insane that would be. And then he won one with the Colts. I know he would have been in Peyton's ass every day.
Oh my God.
And we're like, oh yeah, it only took me a year to win one with your old team.
Peyton, I got as many of Peyton, you got one of these? I got a Colts Super Bowl too.
Oh man.
He'd have to go to the Giants and get 2 to erase what Eli did to him.
I know, he sure would.
So the other team that was interested in Brady in free agency was the Chargers. Which is so interesting. I didn't know that either until this just came out. So this was right before they drafted Herbert. So imagine how things would have changed had they gotten Tom Brady. They don't go with Herbert.
Right.
And Herbert ends up...
Who knows where at that point.
Yeah, because...
Jeez, idiots. They didn't want to take him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he could have had like an Aaron Rodgers slide where nobody needed a quarterback until like the mid-20s or something.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at him getting on a good team.
Yeah.
Oh, like, see, what he could have ended up on the Colts.
Oh my God.
See,
and you would have had all those young stud with, oh God,
on
with
his
that offensive line,
on his rookie salary, because they're paying Carson Wentz $130 million.
Jonathan Taylor, that whole line
That defense.
The defense.
Yeah, so look how the domino effect in the NFL is more than any other sport.
But then also, wouldn't it have pissed you off that the Colts would have gotten just all these great quarterbacks in a row? You went from Manning, then you got Luck, then it was a little rough, but then you would have got Herbert.
Well, it's crazy because your stopgap in between in that rough patch was Phillip Rivers, who's a Hall of Famer.
Insane.
That's why the level of quarterback play they've had. That if you look at Phillip Rivers, like, well, you never had those 2 years.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
You even had Jacoby Brissett in here who was doing well.
Yeah, we love the brisket over here. We
Love the brisket.
That. So the Giants, you guys are in the news. Fielding calls for Saquon.
Yeah, about time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
How many times have I said, like, what are we doing with him? Like, what are we doing with him?
Fielding.
He gonna leave us? Why? She gonna leave us and get him one too?
Of course he is. Fielding calls for. He's going to be Marshall Faulk.
Mm-hmm.
He'll leave the Colts to go the Rams and have a Hall of Fame career. Well, if that's the case, at least you can hope that you get your Edgerrin James.
Right. But how often do you see that? One Hall of Fame running back leave, another Hall of Fame running back come right in. And you can, outside of the offense that they ran, which really, really got Marshall Faulk the ball a lot, Edgerrin James was far from a slouch. It was real close. It was like 1A, 1B, because Edgerrin was a monster.
Well, that's kind of why they had to get rid of Marshall Faulk. It makes sense because you draft Peyton Manning. You have Marshall Faulk. They suck. I don't even remember who was their quarterback. Jim Sorgi or somebody before Peyton Manning. Who fucking knows? I think Harbaugh was the last quarterback to lead them to into the playoffs.
Was the last one, yeah. When he was captain, comeback.
Yeah, so they get Peyton Manning. You got to remember, they sucked his rookie year.
Yes, they did.
And that's because, they wanted to transition into Peyton Manning offense and not Marshall Faulk offense.
Right.
So you can get a lot from Marshall Faulk, which they did, and they flipped that into Edgerrin James. And then they just started then they add Marvin Harrison, and they get Reggie Wayne a couple years later. Then Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis.
And Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, they just literally built it around, we're going to score 40 points a game, and we just hope that we can stop you once or twice. One of these two guys is going to get a strip sack, and we're going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for Saquon to get out of that scenario because they're not using him. They pretty much said, you are our offense because Danny Dumbles is stupid, so we're going to blow your knees out, kid.
Yeah.
Bruce Arian was on Pat.
You know who Saquon needs to, whose career he needs to look at? Reggie Bush. Because Saquon runs a lot like Reggie, jumping all over the place and doing this and that. And it wasn't until Reggie really focused on what he did and he got with the right team. And there were, when he's really, when Drew was there and he was with the Saints and all that, then his career just started to blossom.
Well, imagine Reggie Bush if he were a rookie in this modern day NFL.
God.
He was just ahead of his time. He was built for what's happening now.
He's built for right now.
Yeah, same thing with Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
These are players that were positionless. They're just weapons. Just get them the fucking... Tavon Austin just came like 7 years too early. Mm-hmm. Especially now because you can be that small.
But he's still in the league, though.
Yeah.
Good for him. He's still in the league.
Yeah, it's just because he's so fucking. He ran a 4.2. Like you can't build that. That's just there. So
you figure it out.
Yeah.
You run 4.2. You figure it out.
Yeah. So you got to hope that. You have to look at the positive. Even though he's so slight of built, not a lot of damage on that body. Hasn't been used properly ever. They can't figure out how to use him.
Yeah.
Put him in the backfield. WVU did, and he had 300 yards rushing. It works.
I saw it.
He's so tiny, you can't find him.
Yeah.
And he's so fast. He's so fast. And you, being a short guy with short legs who is fast, people need to understand this about us. It is instant speed in 3 steps.
Yeah.
Top speed is achieved instantly. There's no build-up.
Like a Tesla.
Yeah, just gone. Those long legs will catch you.
0 to 60 in 4 seconds. You're like this. Oh, wait a minute. It was amazing.
Yeah, when Hav had that Porsche GT3 that Fifth got him for signing the G Unit, dude. It was a bucket list item of mine to drive a Porsche. After riding in that, I never wanted to drive one.
Yo, I'll be honest with you. I had an opportunity to drive my boy's Tesla, and I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to. I'm good.
When it chirps and your head snaps back in the first 4 gears, that's too much power, dude. That's too much. You have to know how to drive that car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to want to fuck that.
That was a $250,000 car. I'm not wrecking that shit. No, sir. I'll ride in it. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to ride? Yep.
So Bruce Arians was on the Pat McAfee show today. Awesome interview because Arians is always unhinged. You know, he's just one of the boys. He says that the door is not closed on Brady, but if Tom Brady does come back into the league, he's playing for the Bucs. They will not release him.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Good.
So good luck getting to San Francisco, Tom. Tom's doing a movie, 80 for Brady.
Yeah, with like a new batch of Golden Girls.
So it's based off of a true story of these 4 women who are Super Bowl friends. They've been to like 40 of them.
Oh. Okay.
And this is the last one they went to was the Bucs one when Tom won for the Bucs. So it's 80 for Brady. I guess they're all 80 or something. I don't know. It's one can only hope that the same people who did American Underdog do that movie, because I don't know if you've seen American Underdog yet, the Kurt Warner movie.
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, I know it looks like a Hallmark movie. It's awesome. It's so good, dude.
Okay.
I hit up Instagram. I said, how in the world is this movie this good? How is this possible?
Well, yeah, I thought that I would eventually get around to seeing it.
Dude.
I didn't think it was that.
Dude, it's so... I'm shocked at how good it actually is. The smartest thing they did is not rely on non-football players to do game action. They use game footage from the NFL, dude. It's Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and Ozzie King. I texted you. I said Oz got some love early in the game footage. I was like, oh shit, okay, Oz.
All right, good.
Yeah, it's like they were smart about it, which is always the worry. Because even with Any Given Sunday, the on-field action, just come on, dude, it's cartoonish.
Well, they did get
real football players, Ricky Waters, and Lawrence Taylor.
I mean, and they even got like semi-pro players and like former college players.
Yes, they just tried to stylize it too much, though.
They did.
You know, this was just game footage, and you remember this footage. You remember these plays.
Yeah.
Dude, the movie was so fucking good, dude. So good.
Yeah.
The only Flea, what up, homie? The only like made up is the Arena League period where he's actually in there just chucking it in the Arena League. Like they couldn't find that game footage.
Nobody really knows who he played with in the Arena League, so it don't really matter.
But they do have the championship game footage from then, which they splice. They did a really good job, dude.
Okay.
It looked like a Hallmark movie, dude.
Mm.
And it's not at all.
That's interesting. Okay.
It's more about his journey to the NFL, and then Trent Green getting hurt, and then that season is only like 4 minutes of that. It's just the end of the movie with a bunch of footage and whatnot. Like, it's more about just, dude, it was so good. And Kurt Warner's like the best human being ever, apparently. I had no idea.
I mean, you know, he loves the Lord.
Nah, like, he's like, watch the movie, dude. You're gonna be like, all right, Kurt Warner is the guy. This is the guy.
He loves the kids. Yeah, he's. I haven't heard anyone say a bad word about him.
Nah, he's just a good guy who could sling.
Just a good guy
who could sling the pill.
Oh yes, he could.
He could sling the pill. So, what else is going on? Jimmy G, shoulder surgery. out until midsummer, so that's going to hurt his free agency opportunities.
Dak got a shoulder surgery, but they say he should be fine.
Good tie-in. Cowboys considering moving on from Amari and Zeke. Both smart moves in my book. Get rid of them both.
Yeah.
You've reached your ceiling with that team. That core, you've reached it. You gotta try something else.
Yeah.
Because you know what, Kerry? I think their big mistake was their core when that team started to be successful again was actually the offensive line.
Yes.
And then they made the core Amari, Zeke, and now Dak because they all got mega deals.
Well, especially, but you know how I felt about Amari. Like,
yeah.
When he just, I mean, to his credit, this past season, he did play a lot better. But you know,
he's like the encapsulation of the Cowboys. Just high, that just never reaches the ceiling that he's capable of.
Right. And they showed that they were 4 or 5 deep at receiver anyway. So they
oh yeah, we love Wilson. That kid's he's so smooth.
Wilson, nasty.
Yeah, he needs to be on the field more.
Yes.
It's like
he's a problem.
Yeah. So he's so fluid, so smooth. I love it. So I can see them moving on from both of them. Now, where do each of them go? I don't know. That's a good question. Zeke, I think the team saw that Zeke has he's not the same. He went vegan, lost 30 pounds.
Yeah.
He looked kind of quick in the beginning of the season, but as soon as the physical part of football started to really take hold, game after game after game, he was done. And we knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
You can't eat Beyond Burgers and be a physical back. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Kerry, he lost so much weight that Tony Pollard became more physical of a runner than him.
Tony Pollard's the guy to get.
Well, that's going to be their guy now. They're going to have to go get somebody young to learn behind him and have it be two of them, because I don't know if Tony Pollard can carry a 17-game season. I don't know where he went to college. Did he even carry the load in college, or was he like?
I don't know where he went to college either.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh yeah.
And carrying 350 carries in one season in college.
Yeah. A monster.
Flea said that he heard. This is coming from a Niners fan. That Shanahan slimmed Jimmy into a couple of lockers, and that's how he fucked his shoulder up. That's funny, but that's not true because he had a hurt shoulder before that playoff game.
Yeah.
He had the thumb and the shoulder. He was injured.
The thumb and the shoulder. He was. Listen, he made mistakes that game, but he was a gamer.
He is a gamer, but the problem is, Kerry, no one will ever forget that 7-yard overthrow to a wide open guy in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
No one will ever forget that.
And there it is. That's going to be the narrative.
Until you erase that.
And think about that. If he hits that, Mahomes has 0 Super Bowls. And we're looking at Mahomes like, when you going to win one, homie?
So this reminds me of Kirk Cousins. Jimmy G's like a Greek Kirk Cousins. No, because Kurt always had that label like he couldn't make the play when it mattered, and then he finally got that one.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that against the Cowboys? You like that?
Like that?
And he got a huge deal off of that in Minnesota, and then went one game below 500 perpetually there. Because he only made one clutch play in his whole fucking career.
Yeah.
Jimmy G doesn't make clutch plays. He just doesn't really. You used to say he doesn't make mistakes, but since he's been a starter, he has some bonehead fucking interceptions where you're just like, what were you trying right there? Because you don't have the arm talent to even attempt something like that. What are you doing? Manage the fucking game.
Yeah.
It just, with Bruce saying that Tom's not going anywhere, that throws a huge monkey wrench into the Niners' plans. And now Aaron's not going to go either. So it's Trey Lance or bust. I think they would be smart to just keep Jimmy for another year.
I think the same.
He'll stay. He played this whole season and played his best. That's the best he's played as a whole season.
Absolutely.
Knowing that he wasn't going to be coming back, knowing it. So
And he already said deuces.
yeah, he said goodbye and everything. You know, he looked incredible up there. His 5 o'clock shadow was always impeccable.
Of course it is. You know, he ready.
Yeah, he got.
I mean, he got the Namath flow. He got the Namath looks. He just don't got the Namath gun.
That's for sure. So the Broncos GM said everything is on the table to find a QB. So now the QB carousel was a big one. But we're seeing the two biggest players on the QB carousel are off the board already. Tom's not coming back, and Aaron's only coming back for Green Bay. You can see it.
Yeah.
You know Denver was all in on Aaron Rodgers. Now
Yep.
it's not happening. So the next biggest piece of the puzzle's got to be Russell Wilson.
And the dark horse has to be Deshaun Watson.
Of course, but we don't know what's going to happen and how many games you're getting out of him.
Right.
But-
Because they said he still has 22? Open?
23.
23 open cases.
Yeah, he got Mike on him.
Anyone. Jackson, Jordan, Tyson,
Watson.
Watson.
Oh, yeah. Remix. That was funny. So the Bills are saying it's unrealistic for money-making Mitch to come back as their number 2. So that's a quarterback who is going to go get a spot somewhere and a chance to start.
Know what? And people have been more than whispering that he could end up on the Giants.
See, I've actually heard Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard Pittsburgh a lot, which kind of makes sense. They never really asked the quarterback to do too much until Big Ben started just was chucking, going for 4,000 a year.
And not for nothing, Mitch took Chicago to the playoffs twice.
Yes, he did.
And they were a field goal kick away, and I'll never forgive that field goal kicker because
Double doink.
you gave Phila a damn Super Bowl. They were a field goal kick away from going to the championship game.
And he was also a Pro Bowler his rookie year.
He was.
He played well. So
Run.
you have to look at that scenario now, how we looked at, I think the Adam Gase scenario in New Jersey allowed us to look at quarterbacks who aren't successful through a different lens. Because the Bears have been a mess at QB their entire franchise history.
I mean, aside from the Jim McMahon, but then he got concussed to death, damn near.
And honestly, Jim McMahon's success ties into having Walter Payton and an all-time
And
great
the
defense.
one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Like,
yeah.
Nobody says Jim McMahon's a top 10 quarterback all time. So they've never really had an elite quarterback there ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
No, they haven't.
So I don't really blame money-making Mitch, especially knowing that how unsuccessful Matt Nagy was even after money-making Mitch was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Things didn't get better. They just continued to get worse. So, hey, Mitch, Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense.
I mean, you got a running game, you got a defense, you got a great head coach.
That's what I'm saying. Great organization.
I mean, I'd pick him over Mason Helmet Head Rudolph any day.
Exactly. So there were rumors of Russ going to the Commies,
Okay.
which that was one of the teams that we had as an option.
Yeah.
We had that. So it's just if he goes there, that's just another piece gone off the tables. Then Tyler Heinicke will have an opportunity to go somewhere else and try to. And Lamont, you're right. The other one, Kyler Murray. Is he even going to come back and play football?
I think the relationship between he and the head coach is Splitsville.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
What?
Him, Cliff, and Kyler are tied at the hip. Supposedly, they went and said, we have both completely outperformed our contracts and we want like $200 million.
Well, here's the thing.
Because they're
Cliff
both.
and Kyler have the same damn agent.
I was just about to say that agent's trying to pull a power play and wants like $200 million combined.
So he's not talking shit about Cliff, and he ain't. They've actually talked more shit about Kyler than they have about Cliff. But
Well, see, the thing with Kyler is he could be a professional baseball player if he wants to.
Good.
And he's also a professional video gamer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's on FaZe Clan. Dude, he's on the biggest video game team in the world. Him and Bronny are both on the... I don't think Bronny really cares about basketball, dude. He's been a professional video gamer for a couple years now.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I'm just not in that world because I'm pissed off that we ain't had that. Because I'd have definitely been rocking that.
Dude, they used to tell us you'll never get anything out of doing that.
This is a waste of time. Would you go get money from that?
Yes. Yes, we used to get money anyway. 150.
Yeah. Well, we used to be gambling. Yeah.
Yeah, $50 a game in Madden. Who wants it? I got to pay rent. I'm running through this whole room.
Man, they getting checks.
Yeah.
Checks.
Yeah.
And endorsement.
It'd be hilarious because I would literally only be a Madden player. But Madden's so terrible, it's not football, so I hate playing it. I hate it.
They're called e-athletes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so Kyler and Bronny are both been on FaZe Clan for a while.
Oh wow, I didn't even, okay.
So that kind of makes sense about Kyler's personality. He's more of a loner. He kind of sits by himself. Dude, he grew up playing video games, but he's probably an only child. You know, he don't know how to. He probably doesn't have a whole lot of in-person social interaction.
And you know, he was like real close to his family, especially his pops. His pops was his football coach, and then his pops brought in like quarterback gurus, and so like they've been grooming him.
Yeah.
So he's been like groomed to be a professional athlete. So I'm sure there were no girls, there was nothing.
Yeah.
It was just straight this.
That's what I'm saying. That makes so much sense.
He didn't turn into Todd Marinovich, but you know.
Andy Reid says that he is absolutely stunned that Eric Bieniemy is still on the Chiefs staff. Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, Walrus, because you're making that happen.
Yeah, but
listen. If a head coach is really stumping for it, especially someone of Andy Reid's stature, if a head coach is really stumping for his assistant to get a head coaching job, that shit would happen.
Well, see, that's why I threw that 2 weeks ago in our last episode. I had always thought that he was a bad interview because that's what people keep saying. And then I finally came down to the conclusion, Andy Reid has to be sabotaging this. He had to be.
Andy Reid is sabotaging that shit, man.
He had to be.
Can't tell me different.
He had to be.
Yeah, can't tell me different.
Let's see, what else we got going on? Russell Wilson came out and said he is not considering the commies or playing on the East Coast at all. Well, if that's the case, if he's really... Russ is not like a spin artist at all. It's Russ. Mm-hmm. Then he's going to end up staying in Seattle. If he wants to be on the West Coast, where else would he play? Unless he goes to San Francisco. Oh, that'd be hilarious. But that's inter-division. They're not going to do that.
Here's where we need to find out what Jameis in New Orleans are going to do. Because I could see Russ going there. Russ going there legitimizes them as a Super Bowl contender right now. They got the defense. They got a running game. Well, they got Kamara. And you know, what's his face is back. Michael, the receiver.
Yeah, if Russ is there, he'll come back.
Yeah.
They
signed him.
Oh, okay. So, Melvin.
He's coming back.
Yeah, Mark Ingram's also returned to the Saints backfield to pair back up with Kamara this past season. So
this is what I'm saying. So now I got to look at the Saints really just being a quarterback and maybe another corner safety situation away.
What level
you got to figure out who's going to definitely is going to be Marquez Callaway. Is it number 2 or that other kid who's wilding out? I don't know yet. But
Callaway
gotta
showed
see
a lot of promise, though.
what's going to happen with Jameis, because if I'm Russ, then I'm definitely looking at New Orleans.
Yeah, I can see that because what else is out there? Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins.
And New Orleans is warm. Shit.
Um,
I mean, Russ also said he wants to go to Chicago, so, I mean, kill the noise. Now, how cold Chicago gets, that's crazy. And he's from Virginia, so he knows cold weather. Russ is bugging.
Well, I don't think it was
Russ is throwing everybody off his scent. Because I can't see him going back to Seattle. They are the worst team in that division. He's thrown everybody except for the receivers under the bus. And they're in a full rebuild. There's nothing left for them there.
Yeah, I know. They already won a Super Bowl. Go do it somewhere else, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the Bucks GM's talking about Brady coming back to the Bucks. He's not coming back, people. He has no reason to. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So, Amari Cooper. Where's he land? What's a good spot for Amari Cooper? The Saints, if they get Russ.
Yeah, that could be a spot.
You could allow Callaway to be the number 3 then, because Thomas will be your number 1.
I mean, I would hate to say it, but Philly.
Yeah, I could see that.
They need a lot of things. They need a lot, but he could come in and automatically be their number 1.
All right, so which team is going to be dumb enough to give him number 1 money and then have him only perform when he feels like it? Because that's what he fucking does. That's which is
right. I mean,
and this isn't Randy Moss. I play when I feel like it. Level of talent.
Right.
This is
Exactly.
You clearly see. Oh, he's not even engaged today. He's not even going to fucking try.
not even. Right. Let's see who else. Who else?
Raiders.
They definitely could use him. But like going back,
Maybe the Chargers if Mike Williams is gone because, Mike Williams hasn't really fully lived up to what they think he should be.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just give Amari Cooper that money to not fulfill their potential.
I mean, you could see the Bears reaching for him.
Yeah, I think he would go anywhere that's going to pay him because I don't think he cares enough about football to be like, no, I'm only going to play in certain scenarios with certain quarterbacks. Yeah. I don't think he fucking cares.
Yeah.
I can see him going to Tampa.
If
Chris Godwin goes,
look at Cleveland.
Well, especially
they in desperate mode.
Especially if Landry leaves, because Landry's already said he wants out.
Well, he said he wanted to stay. They are not trying to keep him. Cleveland ain't loyal.
So if I pose the same question about Jarvis Landry about Amari Cooper, you could say every single team. That's the difference in them. Jarvis Landry is respected by everyone, plays hard. Plays consistently and is extremely accurate with that left hand around the.
And you see, like, just when you thought Cleveland was turning the corner, they turned into Cleveland again.
Of course they did. So I could see like Jarvis Landry going to at Green Bay if Aaron stays. Woo.
Green Bay. I could see him going to Pittsburgh just to be like, fuck you, Cleveland. Watch this.
Well, also, you'd have to think that Juju might not be back in Pittsburgh. So it's just like, you're going to see it's like, that's the funny thing about that level, because they're not all, these are all receivers who had shots at being number ones and didn't really pan out as true number ones. Mm-hmm. And it's like time to shuffle them around to another team that's going to try to make them a number one.
But Jarvis is good with being that in-between guy. That's when he plays his best ball. He's a willing blocker. So you don't, and you just gain more. You gain more veteran experience with the Jarvis.
100%. 100%. Any team would take it.
He would love to play for Tom. Come on now.
I think Jarvis, a good landing spot for him would be New England.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
They would utilize him for everything he could possibly do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, especially since
Now,
the majority.
see, actually, if Amari Cooper was worth shit, New England would be a dope spot for him too.
Yeah.
But Hoodie ain't gonna put up with no bullshit.
See, I already thought about that for New England, but he's not putting up with that BS, right? And they
Yeah.
already have Kenyon Bourne, who is kind of like Amari Cooper anyway, just like low budget.
Yeah, but
He's not as good.
Cooper is more talented.
Yeah, of course he is, but he doesn't utilize his talent.
He does.
Kenyon Bourne this
He
year.
is one of the best route runners in the league.
Yeah, but
It's crazy.
they both had 800 yards this season, so you're getting the same thing and like 5 touchdowns. You got the same thing out of both of them.
That's
And one of them, and they both cost a lot of money, but one of them cost a lot more.
yeah.
Right? And then, yeah, I could see Landry in New England just because of his skill set and everything that he does. They like players who can do multiple things. His leadership is impeccable. They don't really have like that guy in their receiving room. They don't have that guy. He would step in and just immediately be the leader, including their tight ends. They don't. Nobody's
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
And then your quarterback's a rookie, so you don't have anybody on that offense to come in and be the voice. That makes even more sense. Landry should go to New England. That makes
Should.
so much sense.
does.
And that's a playoff contender. Like,
And it's your squad still.
I mean, you know,
But you would love it.
of course, I'm trying to be objective, and honestly, objectively, it makes the most sense.
It does. It makes great sense.
But yeah, he'd be awesome there. Well, Flea, you're a San Francisco fan, so saying Jarvis with Debo, I mean, they kind of do the same things. So
Well, no, because they also got Jawan Williams, who's a monster.
Yeah.
And like one of the best blocking receivers in the league. So him going out there wouldn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
You got
I don't think he.
already, and you still got Brandon Ayuk. Y'all actually good at receiving core. So him going out there wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious if Jarvis stayed in Ohio and went and just became
With
the
the Bengals?
became the work the middle for the Bengals.
Like what they actually need, somebody underneath. Ooh.
Extend his career too. He'd play longer doing that.
Good.
And well, see, that's even better for you, Jarvis. Don't go to New England. Go to the Bengals, because you will never, ever, once the entire season, see double coverage or their best corner. Ever.
Oh.
You're going to.
And you could get one just like your best homie in the world. Because Joey Boyband going to get him one at least.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you can get you one just like your boy. Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that would actually even makes more sense.
Yup. And punish them Browns for shitting on you. Yeah.
And then
I would love
honestly,
that.
his leadership would even in the receiving room would actually help the Bengals, because Chase is a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
T's what, his second year?
He's going to go into his third year.
And then Taylor is what? He's in his 4th or 5th.
Yeah, but he's not like the leader of
That's what I'm
the
saying.
team,
They
you know
don't. That in Uzama
Boyd.
or Tyler. I always say Taylor. Tyler
Yeah.
Boyd.
Yeah.
They're the whitest sounding names either. Taylor and Tyler, the Boyds.
Yeah.
Uzama, the tight end. He's a rookie too. So it's all youth.
He was young. Yeah, he's still young. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
youth across the board, and then their backup
Come in
tight
there-
end is young.
Come in there, you're immediately the leader. Well, I mean, you're the leader of the receiver room. I mean, because Joey Boyband is the leader.
But I think Joey Boyband's the type of leader who would defer to Jarvis's experience in leadership. Be like, yo, listen to him talk too. Like, you talk and then I'm going to talk, because it's my team.
Yeah. Yes.
But you talk too.
Yeah.
And honestly, on the defensive side, I don't know who is that guy on their defensive side who's the voice over there. They're just so young everywhere, dude. It's like,
They're young. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Well, the defensive end, that cat who came from the Raiders,
Hendrickson, Trey Hendrickson. But it's his first year on the team.
Yeah, but I mean, he got also very busy, so
Yeah.
they're probably looking at him.
Well, exactly. They are looking at him. So as much as the Bengals are looking at ways to protect Joe Burrow, which has to be number one. It has to be number one.
Yes.
I think The second one, which I think we're the only sports show that ever talks about bringing in leadership in free agency. We talked about that last season with J.J. Watt. That was his whole purpose, was leadership.
Guy. You need it. Yeah.
You have to have that, and the Bengals are so young everywhere, and your best players are all so young. You need a voice.
Yeah.
Like, you have to – Jarvis going there, that's awesome.
And you also just see how close they are. The Rams were littered with veterans and veterans who could ball. And the Bengals were still right there with a chance to get it. I'm still right there, but then you had that monster, Aaron Donald, wrecked the last 2 plays.
Yeah, I'm taking over this game, motherfuckers.
He took the game over. Yeah. Don't note to the league. Don't fuck with Aaron Donald. Like, stop it. Don't try to get into a scuffle with him on the sidelines. That was a clean tackle. Stop it.
Okay, there's only one player that I can think of that could have got up in Aaron Donald's face and could have matched his I'm turning this game. It was Tom Brady. Tom would have been like, yeah, whatever, dude, in his face, and then just went straight down the field and fucking 6 plays and scored, and then talk shit all the way off the field.
Yeah.
It's Tom, dude. Like, he's like that Larry Bird shit talker. The slow white guy who talks more shit than everyone, and people don't realize that Tom Brady never stops jawing at people. Mm-hmm. Like Phillip Rivers used to. Phillip Rivers never shut the fuck up. He just didn't curse.
And just never cussed.
It's weird because these young quarterbacks, only Burrow is the only one that I can see out there talking. But if you saw his mic'd up from the Super Bowl, dude, he was going up to Aaron Donald. Hi, Aaron. I'm Joe.
Yeah. Hey, Vaughn. Mr. Miller, hello.
I'm Joe. Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
I admire your tackle football skills.
Hilarious.
But, I'm not even gonna lie. I respected that.
I did too. Because it didn't seem corny.
And he did to Eric Weddle, too. And then Eric Weddle gave him love back. He was like, he saw it was genuine.
Yeah.
It wasn't like no bullshit.
It wasn't like when Sean McVay got to meet Belichick before their Super Bowl. It was just fanboying out. Like, oh my God, it's Bill. You're so amazing. Will you sign my T-shirt?
He did it more like how Andrew Luck used to do it. He'd be like, all right, good tackle, man. I like that. And it was just like, man, I just hit him with all I had, and he's congratulating me. What's wrong with him?
Same thing, Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was the same way.
Yeah.
So Kevin Garnett told a hilarious story that Tim Duncan was the most effective trash talker ever because it used to piss him off so much because he said that Tim would hit you with the one-word insults. Almost.
That's funny.
Close. He said he would say one-word things to you like that would just get into him and piss him off and get him off of his game.
Well, especially that fucking rage monster that Kevin Garnett was.
And then the exact polar opposite. Tim had no emotion. I am a basketball robot. You're getting 22.
Kevin Garnett was cussing out your ancestors.
He used to say the foulest shit. That Carmelo Anthony, that Lala, that Lucky Charms insult was... Melo waited for him.
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles, yeah. Melo waited for him at the bus. He wanted to fight him.
Yes, he did. And I don't blame him. I'd have been there too.
Hey, listen here, homie.
What you say it again.
Yeah, he forgets. Melo's from New York, man. He ain't going to take that shit.
He's from New York, and he grew up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Nah.
He's not
You
taking
don't want
that
none of
shit.
that smoke. Like I know KG's from South Carolina and Chicago, but New York and Baltimore is a deadly combo too.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that was hilarious. KG that's a special person.
Legendary.
But you could see how somebody like Tim would get under his skin because nothing he said ever got to him.
Yep.
And he would insult you in the slightest ways and let you know that you're just not good enough. Oh, you're almost there. Oh, you almost got that one.
And what made it even worse is that Tim backed it up with chips.
5 of them, people.
and he was the reason they were getting the chips.
All
It
right,
wasn't
so-
like he was Adam Morrison on the sideline.
I know this is an NFL show, but I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if you saw this. Richard Jefferson just flamed himself in the worst possible way ever. He said that Tim Duncan is one of the most overrated players ever, and he rode other players to all of those championships. Now, listen to this. He said David Robinson, who never won one until Tim got there, by the way. Manu.
And we'll tell you that Tim is the one who helped him get over the hump.
All right.
Go ahead.
Manu, Tony Parker, Bruce Bowen. He literally said Bruce Bowen, dude. Yo, it was so insulting what he was saying. I forget which other person was at the panel. They just got up and walked out.
I would have just had to get up and leave. I wouldn't even had word.
They didn't. They
I
literally
don't mind.
didn't say a word. And I would have done the same thing. He said the most.
Yeah, I would have just got up and walked off.
He said he
I'd be
rode.
like,
He rode on the backs of Greg Popovich and all those other players, and he said Bruce Bowen's name. I couldn't believe that shit. I was just like, yo, Robert Ory was more responsible for chips in San Antonio than Bruce Bowen was.
hell yeah. And Steve Kerr.
Yes,
What you talk about?
Will Purdue.
Word. You insane? Yeah, you insane.
Who was my guy? They used to play with David Ross. Sean Elliott. That was my
Sean
guy.
Elliott.
Sean Elliott.
Mario Ellie.
Sean Elliott.
Avery Johnson.
Yeah, crazy that he said that. I couldn't believe he said Bruce Bowen. So stupid.
He one of those guys. He's just like a classic douchebag, though. You know, he's one of them classic douchebags.
Now that we're on the NBA, I know you saw the video of Steph warming up.
Oh yeah, of course. Come on, man.
Dude,
Come on, man.
that was the most impressive display of shooting I have ever seen in my life.
Come on, man.
He only hit the rim once.
There's no words for it. There's no words for what he does.
I was
No
thinking
words.
about it. I was just like, yo, they're going to have to move the 3-point line back because these guys are shooting from 50 feet like it's nothing. But then you'd have to widen the court because there's no room on there's barely any room on the sides.
And not just the guys, the ladies.
Ballman.
Caitlin Clark.
I saw it.
Caitlin Clark out of
Iowa. Dude, bombing. 40 feet, like mid-game.
Paige Beckers, UConn.
Dude, it's nuts. Steph changed basketball.
He changed basketball. He changed the game.
So did you see his shot in the All-Star game from the logo where he...
Which one?
The one where as soon as he let go, he turned around.
Oh, he did that multiple times.
From the logo, he turned around and looked right at Trae Young the whole time it was in the air.
Who Trey kept turning his head away. He didn't even want to look at Steph. Didn't even want to look at him. He just started jogging the other way because they all knew. They all knew. When LeBron would pass him the ball, he was already like this. He was like, that's good. He's like, he's the only player in the league. When he misses, you're like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, it's incredible. I've never seen that warm up. I've never seen anything like that.
Someone shooting the ball, turning around, and asking the crowd, did that go in? What? Come on, man. Come on, man. I need people to understand what they're seeing right now.
So the
'Cause
first,
I don't think they understand.
no,
I think they're spoiled. They don't understand right now.
yeah, it's he's the basketball Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember that video of Bruce Lee with the nunchucks playing ping pong?
Mm.
That's what it looks like, dude. It's just it.
Another thing, which is still to this day one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Dude, it's nobody else can do that warm up. I've
No.
never seen that in my life where you start with a 40-foot rainbow and then just back up 3 steps all the way to half court, all the way back in,
I'm all the way back.
40-foot rainbow, and you only hit the fucking rim once.
Just good.
There was
good.
no hesitation in any of it.
Catch. And he just put the right amount of force. The muscle memory is...
Dude, I watched it like 20 times. It looked fake. I was like, this looks fake. It looks like one of those old commercials of like,
Right. Right.
Like,
yeah. Oh. Nah, that's otherworldly, B.
dude, that he has to be a Mount Rushmore player in the history of basketball because who changes the game around the world?
Around the world.
Mike made the game more visible to the world. He changed the way the game is played.
Yeah.
It's all different now. Kids are pulling, 7th graders are pulling up from 37 feet.
Tell me he didn't influence LaMelo Ball.
Trae Young.
Trae Young. Oh, all these cats.
Everybody.
All.
So the other one, since we're in the off season, we got to talk about something else. John Morant is fucking retarded, dude.
I was about to bring up Ja too. Listen.
That highlight reel from his last game.
That kid's bunnies is. Listen.
Did you see?
And I knew it was gonna get to a point where, because people they'd be like, Ja almost caught that guy. Ja almost. I was like, it's gonna come to a point. He's gonna start smashing on these cats. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready yet. He's gonna start smashing on them, and it was like his misses were legendary.
That last game. First of all, 52 points.
Yeah.
Secondly, I thought it was like watching Vince when he was in his Toronto peak, because he was just doing things vertically that were, dude, it was jaw-dropping, and he's not very tall.
No.
So the spacing is even crazier looking.
Yeah.
But then I saw that full court alley-oop buzzer beater from the baseline with 0.4 seconds left, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, that's Mike. That's
I love that Steven Adams was just like, do it, because you're gonna hit it. They said that what they see in practice, they were like, oh yeah, you should see him in practice.
So he's like a basketball Odell Beckham, dude. He's doing these athletic feats that just make absolutely no sense, and he's so smooth. I've never seen first of all, just throw it. I'm going to DeAndre Hopkins this whole squad of 7-footers because I can out-jump everyone even though I'm 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not even going to come down with it because we only got 0.4. I'm going to turn and fade and hit the jumper. I've never seen that before.
It's different, man.
He's different. That dunk on whoever that big, tall, white dude was.
Oh, yeah. That was, okay, wait. They were playing the Spurs, so that was, oh, shoot. What is his name?
Dude.
I forget now. It was 24, 25.
He took off from the last place where someone would be standing if you're rebounding for free throws.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I that's another one. I watched it 20 times. I could not believe how far away he took off from. I was like, and it's so funny. He's so efficient in getting to the rim. There's no arc in his jump. He just jumped straight to it. Like he flew to it.
And you know what I love about Pop? I know Pop gets a bad name because, Poppy in people's asses because he don't play. Pop was like, you know what? Enough with the narrative that he's just this athletic freak. He said, this kid makes the right basketball plays. He sees the court. He knows what he's doing out there. Yes, he can also do these other things, but he knows how to make the right basketball play.
So, what I always liked about Zion's athleticism is not just how freaky it is, because Ja has the same athleticism.
Absolutely.
It's how quickly they get off of the floor.
Second jump.
It's so fast. So, what I saw, because I haven't been watching basketball, I just saw that. I said 52 points. It's Ja Morant. He had to do something crazy, and I hit play. I was just like, wait a minute, what's he doing? He literally jumps just straight to the rim, no matter where he's jumping from. There's no wasted air. He's getting there before you do.
Oh, yeah, and he's getting there violently.
Dude, that oop he caught was, and then He dunked it backwards.
Also, he's making these 360 layups with the inside hand look routine.
So that's the other thing. So that's one thing I always liked about Zion's game, and what I thought he was so fluid in the air, because a lot of his scoring was just him around the bucket, but he
Right.
would just jump at the perfect angles and get right to the rim. Ja does the same thing. Spin.
Exact same. And they played together.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude,
I imagine I don't know how they lost ever. Ever.
because you just couldn't figure out who's going to, like, who's getting the highlights tonight. Let's see who can outdo who tonight. Like,
Amazing.
you're just,
I mean,
it's not even about winning if those two are on the team. It's just like, oh, let's just go put on a show. Whatever. We're both going to be billionaires.
and you think about that draft, and really, this is no shade to R.J. Barrett. You are who you are, but you have Zion, Ja Morant, R.J. Barrett, who is playing
Wow.
very well this season.
Yeah.
But and you know, Zion is trying to he's trying to turn into Ollie Miller. But I just think he wants out of New Orleans. He wanted to come to the Knicks.
Yeah.
And when I knew that we weren't going to get Zion, because I knew we were not going to get Zion, the person who I really wanted was Ja Morant. I was like, if we get RJ, we get RJ. But I was like, this kid, Ja,
He would have
we've
electrified the
We've
Garden.
never had a cat like that in New York in a very, very, very long time.
He's got J.R. Smith dunks without the J.R. Smith dumb shit.
But but I'm saying, like, the cat who excited us most in New York was Latrell Sprewell. World beat Spree. People loved, and he attacked the rim with violence, and he'd attack a coach with violence if the coach got in his face too much.
PJ.
Sometimes you gotta choke a coach out.
What'd you say about my spinning rims?
You know what I'm saying? About 20 foes. Watch your mouth.
Ja in the Garden would have been electric.
Forget it. You don't have to worry about like the bullshit KD said. Nobody wants to play for the Knicks. Man, whatever. Get your life right and comb your hair. Everybody would have wanted to come to the Knicks.
Ja Morant's playing for the Knicks. I'm going to Knicks games. What are you talking about? Let's go
You know
watch
what
this
I'm
guy
saying?
do trampoline stuff on grown humans. Let's do this.
You know what I
It's going
mean?
to be awesome.
What are we talking about here?
Dude, I went and watched Trae Young play WVU in college because I was like, I got to go see this. I have to see this in
know.
person.
Javon Carter, he put the shackles on him.
He sure did, but Trae did hit a couple from like 45 feet that I was just like, Jesus fucking.
Yeah, and he kept pulling. Like I give it to him. He was getting harassed. I mean, because Javon was a senior. He's just too strong. He had grown man strength on him.
And he's picking him up 90 feet. I'm taking you from the bench. Let's go.
Exactly. But I mean, and you know, we talk about little scrawny. I mean, you think Trae Young is scrawny now? He was scrawny.
He was a freshman. He was 18.
Going against a senior, and he took that. He was getting frustrated, but he kept taking that punishment, and he kept coming back.
Yeah.
I gave him a lot of props for that, and he still ended up dropping like. Did he get over 20?
Yeah.
Like 24.
Yeah, it was like 23 or 24.
23, like 24. I mean, it took a lot of shots to get there, but he kept pulling and he kept going at it. So I was like, man,
Not only was that a grown man.
What I knew, I was like, here's the thing. Javon Carter got him now. Trae Young is going to be a superstar in the league. Javon Carter is going to have to keep trying to find a job.
So,
And look, and it's playing out.
just for context on that, Javon Carter that year won National Defensive Player of the Year
He did.
as a point guard. That
he
never
did.
happens.
Yep.
And it wasn't even close. Everyone knew it. Oh, he's going to win this. It's like a lock.
It was not even close.
He was Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year like 3 straight years in a row as a point guard. That's like Gary Payton level defense.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the only reason why he keeps getting jobs now.
Well, see, the funny thing is he was so good at on-ball defense, they stopped being press Virginia. They changed to a whole different team.
Yeah.
They didn't press. He just played defense on ball.
And you know who that reminds you of? Muggsy Bogues, who was the best on-ball defender in high school, in college, and in the league when he was in the league.
Yeah, until Mike told him to shoot the ball, you fucking
Yeah,
bitch.
but you know what? And let me tell you something. I just narrated Muggsy's book. And he brings that up. And Muggsy's like, let me clear something up right quick. Everybody says that I fell off after that. He was like, first of all, Mike never said that to me. He was like, me and Mike homies, like we played each other throughout college and throughout the thing. He was like, he never said that to me. He said, and if I fell off so much, I played 7 more seasons in the league after that. What are y'all talking about?
That's the.
I was like, thank you for clearing that up for me, Muggsy.
Well, thank you for clearing that up. You gotta love the inside information because that's how legendary Mike is.
Yeah, and that people believe that story too. He was like, yo, let me address something real quick.
Yo, Mike was so savage. He called Muggsy Bogues a fucking midget, and he quit the league the next day.
And then let me tell you something. If that was true, Muggsy would not be working for Mike with the Charlotte Hornets right now, which he's doing.
It's funnier to believe it, though. That's
It
hilarious.
was funnier to believe it, though.
So funny. All right, what else is going on? I had that Ja Morant highlight reel was stupid, dude. Oh, my God.
Seriously.
The only other thing that I noticed is going on in that league is the Lakers are terrible. They suck, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Westbrook, what happened to him?
Listen, how do you go from MVP to where he be?
Yo, I saw multiple jump shots where he hit like the top of the backboard, the side of the backboard.
There's a whole reel of it that's like 13, 14 minutes long of just that and no repeats. Just that.
He got the Nick Andersons.
Yeah, for real. He got the yippity yips for sure.
Dude, but it's like a side of the backboard off. It's like, whoa.
But you know what though? And I don't know whether to respect it or reject it. But they asked him, yeah, they booed you and all that. He was like, I don't care. I gotta go home. I'm going home to my wife and my kids. I don't care. Like, he just don't care. Like, everyone who was at one time mad dominant, killing it, and then all of a sudden their game fall off, they care. Like, they get really upset. And they work hard to fix it. But he's just like, I have not seen him alter his game at all.
So we talked about this before, probably 2 years ago when we first started doing this, that when his athleticism, which is
still off the charts,
and he looks like Darryl Green-esque. He's not going to never be non-athletic,
yeah.
but he's
like, there's never going to be a time he's not athletic.
It's not. It's starting. Things are starting to happen, dude. You're hitting the side of the backboard on jumpers, like.
You could still be okay. You could use your athleticism for good.
Be a defender.
Stop taking jumpers, man.
You're one of the best small rebounders the game has ever seen.
Absolutely. Do that. You can affect the game in so many other ways.
Yeah.
And it's looking like the Lakers truly played themselves 2 years ago when they had the opportunity to get Kyle Lowry and instead got Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
So you had a chance to get someone who just won an NBA championship for a fake ass wannabe kid and play.
So that just goes to show you that LeBron is a terrible GM, because when he puts his teams together and gets what he wants, this happens.
But this is indicative of all great players. Mike, terrible GM.
Yeah. Jerry West is
terrible coach.
Jerry West Isaiah was awful.
Isaiah, terrible. Jerry West is the only one. I mean, outside of Bill Russell, who then took over coach, won again, but then then left.
But Jerry
But
West
yeah,
is the exception. It's never really worked out because it's I don't know. It'd be hard. Larry Bird was pretty good, solid, but he was just a coach.
Larry Bird was pretty good. I would say Joe Torre. Joe Torre was a good player with the Braves, and then you saw what he did with the Yankees.
That's what I'm saying. It's rare, right?
Rare.
And then you look at even in our sport, the NFL. Yeah, you're seeing former players become good coaches now because the game has changed to a younger game. So you have to have players who have experience in this game.
Yeah.
And also how to deal with the social media generation and these players. They're different.
And Dion is killing it. Prime time is killing it.
Dion's killing it. Vrabel's killing it. He's awesome.
Vrabel's killing
I
it.
keep hearing stories about like Taylor Lewan and another Titans player about like them going out with Vrabel. Like he still goes out. He's young, dude. He's young.
I love it.
He still goes out. He's talked shit to them.
He's like that dude. He is the coach you want to go have a beer with.
Yeah. So it makes sense. So the only way that a legacy coach would be able to handle it is Belichick, because you have to respect Belichick. You're not going to go in there and do TikTok videos on the logo.
But even remember when Randy Moss got there. Remember Randy threw a Halloween party and he invited Hoodie, and Hoodie showed up.
Yeah, but that's different. I'm talking like Juju Smith-Schuster is not doing a TikTok video in the middle of the Patriots.
Oh yeah, true that. Yeah.
You're not doing social media posts in the locker room post game while things are happening.
Yeah, well, Tomlin was like not with that.
That's what I'm saying. Tomlin's another one. Tomlin is a coach that you would have as soon as you get there. It's Mike Tomlin. You're respecting this culture, how things are done here. The only player that ever really got away with anything in New England's Gronk.
I know. You know what? Because I think the Hoodie looked at him and he was like, he won't even understand the words coming out of my mouth. So I'm not even gonna waste them.
Well, my favorite story about them is that Gronk never watches film, which we know is false. He's a very smart football player.
Yes, he is.
But early on in his career, I guess he didn't. He would just show up and be like, "Yo, Tom, what am I supposed to do today?" And they just couldn't stop him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you can't stop him. So, which is hilarious. So, like, Bill, that's like, see, we have to just go back to Parcells allowing Lawrence Taylor to be Lawrence Taylor because of what you're going to get out of it.
Yes.
Every once in a while, there's that one personality that you're like, all right. And honestly, Gronk.
He would get Lawrence Taylor's ass too, though.
Well, of course.
He knew
Belichick.
He knew Lawrence Taylor wasn't out at 3-4 o'clock in the morning handing out Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, and Gronk is the only player that would be currently playing and a star who's going to go do WWE spots.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, he got away with it because look how talented he is. And honestly, Gronk's shenanigans never hurt anyone. He's a big fucking goofball. He wasn't, like, banging hookers. Well, he was, but...
Well, I was going to say,
he was with some porn stars. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, indeed.
It didn't hurt anybody, though.
No.
He never got arrested. It wasn't like he wasn't getting in fights. There were no drug issues. There was no domestic violence. He's fucking slamming beers and like pushing his bros into fucking drywall and leaving holes and shit.
And lifting Shaq over his head.
Yeah. Hilarious. Speaking of Gronk, if he does continue to play, hilarious if he goes to Cincinnati.
I was gonna say Joey Boy Band time.
He said it himself.
Do it.
He said only Tom, but now he's saying I like the way this guy plays. Well, yeah.
I would love that for him, and I would love that for them, and they would instantly become a better blocking team.
Well, it's funny. So nobody saw what was in Tom except the very few people. But even they didn't see it to fucking 7 Super Bowls. Come on, nobody.
Nobody saw that.
But since we got to see this for 22 straight seasons, front and center, front and center. He's face of the league for 2 fucking decades. It's a little bit easier to recognize that. And you see it instantly. You see it instantly in Burrow. Like, oh, he's got it. He's got it. That looks exactly like Tom.
When Burrow says, yeah, underdog, nah, I ain't having that.
It's funny.
Get used to this.
It's funny because they're so different.
The city needs to get, everybody needs to get used to this. We're going to be here.
They're so different. Like, Tom's like, I'm showing up first. I'm out working everybody. I'm out studying everybody. We are going to out prepare, and then we're going to out execute. Laser focused. There's only one thing. I'm ultra competitive. Joe Burrow's just like, nah, man, I'm just better than everybody. Let's go show. I'm going to show you what. He's one of those guys. Yeah, I'm going to show you I'm better than you.
Check this out.
Yeah, watch what I'm about to do. Yo, hold my shades.
I'll be right back. Check this out.
He gets off the sideline, takes off his helmet. He's got like some girl there to spray some mist on his hair. Psst.
Mm-hmm.
His hair's always perfect, dude. He's just like one of those guys, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. I love every second of it because he performs on the fields when it counts.
Yep. My guy.
And I love clutch. And now that I've seen Justin Herbert in the most ridiculous clutch 7 fourth downs in a row and all of them over 10 yards.
We got cheated because of his dumbass coach. We got cheated.
When I saw Justin Herbert do that, I knew, oh, he's got it too. He's got it too, which is awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. Man. Because
that solidified what I thought.
Well, now that just checks off every single box.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of leader he is in the locker room. I don't know. We'll find out in the future as things. But as far as on field, physically, he has everything. Mentally, he was going to be a fucking surgeon. He's smart as shit. And then
he was literally going to be one too.
Yeah, and then he can do that. When it's all on him.
When that's all they can do. Oh. You know they have to throw. You know this.
It was saw it. No, it was amazing because you knew when it got to fourth down, every throw was absolutely perfect. It was just like, oh, he's so clutch. This is awesome.
And it got to the point where then he did it once, then he did it twice, then he did it again. Then you were like, he's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again.
It's just like you're just wanting them to kneel. You know, I think I texted you. They should just kneel on first, second, and third down and just go to the fourth. Like, dude, and then they scored with like 2 seconds left. Like, this is so incredible.
The coach I can't stand it. These coaches are ruining these all-time performances.
Another big blow to the Buccaneers. Ali Marpet retires at 28.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He's 28 years old, man. And he was like having the best season of his career.
Yeah, all pro.
7th rounder?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he a 7th rounder?
Yeah, he came out of Division III.
Come on.
That was his.
Like he's.
Yeah, that was his. That was his story. Is that like he ended up at like Division III, and it wasn't like, there's a couple teams in Division II that are always.
Yeah, they're always of course.
Like North Dakota State.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them. His Division III, I don't think he was playing at, what is it, Mount Union? Is that the team that wins?
Oh, yeah, Mount Union was one there. They're the ones who always.
I think winning. He played at Wisconsin Whitewater, which is another one in Division III, but, like, he was just a big fucking dude. I guess he got bigger as he was in college, right? And then I remember his story because it was just like, oh, it's this Division III. This is fucking nuts. I played in D2, and I'm just like, there was some absolute total bums on that team that had shouldn't have been in college football, let alone shots at the NFL. You waited. How did you end up in Division III?
In D1, there are plenty of bums who didn't deserve to be playing in D1 or at all.
So that just reminds me of what I was going to say about the NBA. In the NBA, if you are just athletic as fuck, you will have a lengthy career. Russell Westbrook, John Morant, if Zion loses weight, your athleticism, LeBron, will...
Or if you're a 7-footer.
Well, not just the athleticism alone. You don't necessarily have to be a good basketball player, right? In the NFL, your athleticism only gets you a shot. They'll look at you and be like, all right, we might be able to turn you into a football. And if it doesn't work, you're out of here. They'll move on to the next super athlete. It's like, it's so weird because it happens in college too. There was some kids in college that was like, yeah, I only played football my senior year. And I'm looking at them like, yo, you are fucking gigantic. Why? You know, they just wasn't into it. And then somebody convinced them to play. They dominated because they're fucking huge. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like they don't know how to play football at all.
Right.
At all. They're just like trying to figure shit out on the fly, and it's just like, this ain't gonna work out for this guy. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, we see that with track guys who try to be receivers.
Yeah.
Rarely does it work out. It worked for Willie Gault. Not so much for Jet.
Bob Hayes was the prototype on that.
Bob Hayes was the prototype.
Willie Gault it worked out for. James Jett it kind of worked out a little bit.
Kinda.
The other ones, never really works out because it's hard, dude. You're not just running in straight lines. You might be really fast, but you have to be fast within the construct of the game itself, leverage and what the defenders are doing and spacing and what the safeties are doing over top because they know you're fast.
Like I wouldn't be threatened by Usain Bolt. He would have to prove to me that he could catch.
Yeah.
And then he would have to prove to me that he could take a lick.
Yeah, because he's so tall, I'm just hitting him.
Yeah.
As a small corner, I'm not even trying to go up and get him. I'm literally just waiting for...
I'm just waiting for him to come. Bang!
As soon as he comes down, I'm going to just hit him right under the chin and try to hit the ball at the same time, or I'm hitting him right in the knees and just getting him off the field. Wow, get out of here. You've never had that happen before.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You have to learn how to, like, fall and take hits and not get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Because trust me, you have people shooting at your knees all the time. They try to tell you there's this gentleman's agreement not to go for the knees. Shit. It would take me a good 2 months to be able to start walking right again after the season. A good 2 months.
I mean, I stopped tackling my teammates in practice when I told you I hit our running back in the ankle and he was out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done because I'm not hitting none of you monsters up high. And if I do that, I could hurt one of you. So, whatever. I started rodeoing everybody. Ole, I got him. He would have been down.
Yeah.
Make the fucking play. I don't want to hurt somebody.
You just taekwondoing them.
My big thing then was to just run up to him and then fall down and just grab their shirt and just pull them down with me.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck was that? It's judo.
Mm-hmm.
Play's over though, homie. Let's go. I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Let's move on to our off-season makeover.
Yeah, what team we got today?
The Rams, because I didn't do one last week.
Okay.
Because you can't do it by yourself. It's stupid. It would take. I would have done it for 5 minutes and been like, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different this year because we're going to go with the team that just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So the biggest news is with them. Sean McVay says, I do not want to go into the broadcast booth just yet. Let's run it back one more time. So they get McVay back.
And they were trying to get him in the broadcast booth quick.
Yeah. He's going to learn very quickly how impossible it is to go back-to-back. Just doesn't work.
Sure.
So Aaron Donald says he will come back if McVay comes back, which he did, and they bring Odell back.
Yes. He loves Odell.
Yeah.
They all do. Which then begs the question of why he got so much shit, especially when he was in New York.
Because he was young, and I think he's grown as a human being, and things have changed a little bit.
No question. He did change, but...
And it's New York. The spotlight's different there.
I mean, but they shat on him in Cleveland to make it seem like it was his fault in Cleveland, and we clearly saw that it was not.
Okay, so here's my theory on that in Cleveland. You can't shit on the quarterback. You got to blame somebody else. You know, typically it's the coaches that get fired and whatnot, right? Coordinators lose their job, coaches, and then a franchise QB will be moved on from, right?
Yeah, and then they shipped out Odell, and then Baker did what? Yeah.
To his credit, the guy played with half a body this year.
But you know what? Also to his detriment of his team. So,
And to
at that point, At that point, Case Keenum was the better option.
And to the detriment of himself, because he did that to himself playing the way he was. Get rid of the fucking ball,
did.
dude. You're missing open
So
people.
basically, what you're saying is he played himself. Congratulations.
Yeah, he certainly did. And I was always a Baker supporter. But this past year, it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch, dude.
The whole
So,
squad was.
Rams want to try to run it back. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. It's too hard. It's just too hard. Eric Weddle, already done. He said he's not coming back. That's
Well, I mean, he only came back just because he saw some help. I mean,
well, they needed him.
If I was retired, he was already retired.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think I can help y'all out. He watched all the games and he was like, hey, I know what I can do this for y'all. And then they let him do it. And he really did. And I give him credit. Because he got hurt in that first quarter early. Taped him up. And he played the rest of that game. And he made plays. I've always liked Eric Weddle. Tough little motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was on those Ravens teams that were going with Terrell Suggs that were getting busy against the Patriots. So I hated Eric Weddle because he was getting busy against the Patriots.
Well, that was your issue.
Yeah. Hey, I hear from you about anybody in the NFC. I hear it. So it's the same thing, and it's funny because the Ravens aren't even in the AFC East. It's just there was like a 6-year run where that defense and the Patriots were going at it.
Yeah, and those joints were epic. I can't
And they did not like each other. And you have Terrell Suggs constantly yapping, Ray Lewis yapping, and Tom Brady yapping.
Yeah.
And now we know what type of
Ed Reed just ready to pick Tom off at any time.
And now we know what type of person that Vrabel is now that he's a coach. So you know he was over there just fucking. So. Just go.
You know, them head coaches didn't fucking like each other.
No, they don't. And, those were the Baltimore teams that did beat the Patriots in the playoffs and go to win titles and whatnot. So,
yes, they did.
There was back and forth.
It was serious. Yeah,
it was funny because for those Ravens teams, it was the Steelers in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But when the playoff times came, it was always the Patriots.
Yep. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for the Patriots, we could be talking about the Ravens in a whole nother light. Whole nother light.
Well, you got to think about that.
We might be looking at, and we might be talking about, oh, Jesus, and I'm glad that didn't happen, Joey Flaccarito in a whole nother light. That fucking guy.
Yeah. Well, he was a playoff quarterback. I'll give him that. Playoffs came.
He was a big dude with a big arm, but he was a mule. That guy was...
He was, but
I don't know. I just didn't like that guy.
None of us did, because eventually he beat our teams especially the Patriots. Just like, this guy just beat us. Seriously, they're not even really good on offense, and this guy just beat us.
He was like that guy. You were like, for some reason, I just don't like you. You know what I mean? He was one of those guys. And then he opened his mouth, and you were like, yeah,
that's why I don't like you.
I knew I didn't like you.
Well, I will give him credit, and if I'm such a big fan of clutchness, which I am, then I have to give him his credit where he deserved, because when the playoffs happened, he played way better.
I mean, let me tell you something. That throw he did against Denver to Jacoby Jones, I mean, big arm. I don't think Tyrod Taylor would have got it out there.
Nope.
So, yeah.
It's funny because I was actually in a car on my laptop with a portable Wi-Fi thing watching that play happen. Because we had to be somewhere, so we had to leave. I'm just like, do you see how close this game is? Ah, fuck, I gotta watch this shit somehow.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that play like, did this really just happen?
It did.
Did that safety really make that play right there?
Who was that, too? Devastated him. Was it Simmons?
I don't remember, but
he wasn't in the league yet.
So the Rams lost their offensive coordinator, so he's somewhere else. I don't remember where. He got a job somewhere as a coach.
He did. I forget his name, though. Yes, he did.
Williams. Isn't it Williams or something like that?
So Miami.
Yeah, okay. So he goes there. So the Rams are naming the offensive coordinator from Kentucky University as their OC.
Wildcats, UK Wildcats, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, you know what? Kentucky actually did have a good season last year. Now that I think about it, they did. They had a really like a surprisingly good season. So his name was hot. Okay.
So the Rams also lost Phillips. 'Cause Phillips went to the Vikings as their offensive coordinator now. So they've lost. I don't know what he did, but there's another coach that's been. It's what happens when you win Super Bowls, people. Your coaches go elsewhere.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah, I don't know about this Cohen from Kentucky. I gotta.
Well, Kentucky, like I said, they were good. So
They finished 10-3.
That's what I'm saying. They were good.
He was 2018 and 19. He was the a wide receivers coach for the Rams.
Okay.
And then went to Kentucky on their staff. They went 10-3, and now they just brought it back.
Yep.
Now it makes sense.
Yep.
Now it makes sense. I was just like, Kentucky, what the fuck? Kevin O'Connell is who left. So Kevin O'Connell goes to the Vikings as the head coach, and he takes Phillips with him and makes him his OC.
Got it.
Okay, now it's all making sense.
Got it.
They're going to make a Rams north, because they always said a Patriots south, a Patriots west, a Patriots everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
the Tampa Bay Patriots.
That's the only one that worked, because Tom went somewhere. When all those coaches went somewhere, you couldn't import the Patriot way because you figured out, no, it's the Tom Brady way. He's the one who did it. Now we get it.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect storm that you get that coach and then the one all-time great who wants to be yelled at and told he's not good enough because he needs a chip on his shoulder.
Yep. Yes, he does.
You can't yell at Michael Jordan. Phil Jackson's not yelling in Mike's face telling him that he sucks.
No,
You're terrible.
He's ended out. He yelled at Scotty, though. Scotty! Scotty!
You know, they're not yelling at Kobe and saying things like that, but Tom actually fed off of that. Oh, Tom, this is fucking ridiculous. What are we doing here? Oh, you suck. Oh, word? He's just wired that way. So I've been watching. There's this guy that does a Tom Brady video every day. This guy's he might be the biggest fan. This guy, his videos are interesting because they're usually just a different topic. It'll be like, people talk about Tom Brady's competitiveness. And they all talk about how he's literally the most competitive human being ever. Doesn't allow anyone to win at anything. Will beat your grandma at checkers. Doesn't fucking care.
MJ was like that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're all like, oh, they're watching The Last Dance. They're all like, oh, that's Tom. That's it. Tom's just the exact same way. They're literally wired the same. It's just that Tom's favorite thing to do is be in the facility doing football things. Watching film, practice it, throwing, getting reps with the receivers. Like he literally, these are the things he loves the most on the planet. That's incredible. That's the only way you could want to do that for 22 straight years.
That's it.
Because you look at every professional player when they retire, they're just like, yo, it's not the game. I love playing football, but it's the grind. I can't do this anymore.
I'm tired.
I'm tired, balls.
Yo, I'm tired, son.
Tired, balls. Get real tired.
Get real tired.
No, everyone says the same thing. Like, it is true.
Straight up.
I've been doing the same shit for over 20 years. I'm glad that I do it in such a niche style that I only work on one artist's music, because if I was like in the lab working with rappers in this generation, I feel like Mike Tomlin. I got to learn a whole new generation of like human beings and whatnot. Got to learn. I couldn't do it. These kids in the studio, I'd quit. I'm tired,
son,
boss.
Hey, if I literally did not love reading, there'd be no way in the world I could do these audiobooks, especially the types of books I'm doing, especially now where I'm either talking about something that happened in the 1800s and if I'm talking about something that happened in the 1800s or 1700s, we know we know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Or civil rights, or anybody in that era, or anything that has come from that. I mean, every day, all day. So if I just didn't love this, I mean, I would just be beaten down my own self.
Well, on the opposite end of doing many of those ridiculous books before you got into doing
Books of note.
Yeah, towards the end we were doing books of note, and they were this thick, and they would take a month to do, and it was retarded. Yeah. I kind of missed the space porn. Yeah. I'll never forget that one, dude. I'll never forget that one. But being on the opposite end of that and just listening to this and just pressing 3 buttons and listening, dude, I'm glad that my brain is wired to do multiple things at once. It's the only way I survived that is I used to play golf on my laptop the entire time that you were reading, and I would just do this right-handed and do this left-handed. It's the only way, dude. That shit was so outrageous. Mad bodices and fucking that one lady that described the features of the buildings down south like she was fucking the buildings.
And the Shea Lounges. Listen. I forget what her name was. Whatever.
Dude, that chick. I think
are you kidding me?
I think she has a southern building fetish.
Yeah.
Like old plantation home fetish, dude. She was weird.
And furniture. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was literally home and garden.
Yeah, dude. She had a sexual fetish about like old southern furniture and architecture features. It was really weird.
Straight up.
Because we did multiple books with her, and it was the same thing in all of them, in great detail. Very detailed.
So people thought they were getting like some romance, but it was a romance with furniture, not between 2 people, because those scenes were garbage.
Yeah.
Those were whack.
She put all of her work into describing architecture and furniture. It was really fucking weird. Yeah. It's just like how you know Tarantino has a foot fetish because you're getting shots of Uma Thurman's feet in every fucking movie.
Yeah, well, he had a fetish for her too. So.
Well, Selma Hayek in From Dusk Till Dawn with the feet in his mouth. Yeah, I'm sure he wrote that scene just for him.
Yes, he did.
How many takes did you do with that one there, Quentin?
I just don't think. I think I could fit the pinky toe too. Let's do it again.
Dude. Oh, man. So the Rams also lost one of their defensive staff got hired as the Rams' new D coordinator. Evero. I don't know who that is. Probably linebackers or probably secondary coach, considering their secondary is pretty solid.
Is Von Miller set to come back?
Yeah, I think.
I would.
I think they're all in the run it back mode. Everybody that wins it tries to see if we can do this again. Because the core, their quarterback, Aaron Donald, the core always returns on their let's run it back. Yeah. There will be a bunch of pieces that change, a bunch of players that are kind of mid to upper mid-level on your team are going to go get bigger deals on other teams because they have Super Bowl experience now and shit like that. You get a lot of new pieces in there, and then you just see it's fucking impossible.
Does Whit come back again? Whitworth at 41?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He's, from what I'm hearing right now, he's leaning towards no. So I don't think so either. I think he might understand, all right, so it's been done 4 times ever?
And listen, he started with the Bungles when they were legit the Bungles. And then faced them when they were legit the Bengals.
Yeah, he got to go out.
That is a perfect circle for him.
He has to.
This is go out on that shield, and then his undershirt. Did you see his undershirt where he had Woods and he had Higbee? He had their names written on his undershirt, to have them. For him, I think that is the perfect. End it right there, Whit. You got it.
Yeah, it's the guy who narrates books for a living. He knows the story when he sees one. That's a good story. It's not going to get better. The ending's not going to get better. Even
Not gonna get better.
even if you win another one, it's not going to be better than beating the
It's
Bengals.
not gonna be better than that. Not gonna be better than that.
Like Jerome Bettis when Pittsburgh won. You get to win in Detroit, where you grew up. Don't come back. He retired on the podium.
That's it.
I loved
That's
it.
it.
I loved
Do
it.
it. That's it.
This is
And then living his best life since then.
Yeah.
Living his best life since then.
I don't ever remember a player retiring from the podium at the Super Bowl with the trophy in your hand. I've never seen it before.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Did we want to see more Mike? Maybe. But at the same time, when he hit that shot, when he said, "Excuse me, Brian Russell," I was like, there is no better way to end a career right there. That's it. What else? Like, what else?
Yeah, I
That
mean,
was dope.
we all watched it because we're children of that era. So it's like, yeah, you win 3 in a row. You go play baseball for a season and a half. And then you immediately pick up and become the best team in NBA history and win 3 more in a row. What? You're right. What? Win 4? Win 5? Like, who fucking cares?
What else?
And honestly, plus, it was different because Bill Russell and them do it, but they're not. They don't have Jordan Brand that's made him billions of dollars already. He doesn't have to work. There's nothing left to accomplish. And then they had the whole Jerry Krause. It's because of me, not because of you.
I did it. Yeah.
So,
Man. Yeah. So I mean, those things are dope, man. So yeah, Witt doesn't need to come back. And talking about living your best life, Aaron Donald is living his best. I just won the Super Bowl life. I don't know if he's been sober a day yet. He's just every talk show he went on, he had a bottle of something and was just like, yeah, man, I'm a champion. And I don't even blame him. That's great. I don't know, like, we got to think about now next year. Tyler Higbee's coming back. Robert Woods
comes back.
is coming back.
So Robert
So
Woods comes
that's
back
great.
and fills the Odell gap until Odell comes back, which will
It's
probably
so crazy, right?
Yeah.
So crazy how the timing of this works out. Robert Woods has to go down for the season. Odell comes in, fills in. They get to the Super Bowl. Odell has an impact immediately. Bam, goes down. Robert Woods is going to come right back to start the season. It's crazy.
watch him get hurt right when Odell's getting right back into the swing of things.
Ridiculous.
They're never going to be on the field together.
Same time, right?
Hilarious.
You know why? Because Robert Woods and Odell are the same.
I was about to say Robert Woods is Odell Beckham Jr. It makes so much sense because Odell's a character. That's not a real human being. That's a character.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on the blonde wig,
Or whatever color he's going with.
starts doing TikTok dances and hot tub videos, and
Plus he got his, little newborn. He got his little booby cat who's a fitness instructor, whatever she does.
stories from the Super Bowl for the Rams that are hilarious. Odell wins the Super Bowl, immediately has a kid.
Yeah.
The other player on the Rams' wife was in labor during the Super Bowl.
Van Jefferson.
Now you wonder why he wasn't really performing on the field. It's understandable, homie. You get a pass from me.
Yeah.
You're having a kid.
Jetted.
Yeah.
Right after. He was like, thanks, y'all. He barely got any ticker tape on him. He was out.
He never even got to hold the Super Bowl, the trophy.
Yeah.
Nah, but to his credit, he had a better trophy to go hold. That's hilarious.
Yes, he did.
And shout out to his wife for being like, nah, go ahead and play this game, man. It's fuck Super
Go
Bowl.
ahead and play. Yeah.
Now, I wonder if she went into labor like during the game. And
Because of the stress?
yeah, exactly. And then they just didn't tell him. She was just like, nah, don't tell him till the game's over.
I mean,
Labor takes hours usually anyway, right?
listen, there have been players who've had parents who died, and they were like, don't tell him till after the game. That's definitely happened.
Yeah.
I've heard those stories. So yeah, probably something like that. But also, fellas, timing. Why don't you just believe you're gonna go to the Super Bowl? So just hold off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like squeeze one off in September. You know what I'm saying? Not during the summertime. You supposed to be training anyway. What's wrong with you?
Well, great segue. So Tyson Fury was on Pat McAfee's show today. Absolute legendary human being. That guy that's a different human. He's fucking different.
He is different.
Because
he is different.
You're talking
when he's licking the side of the face of the opponent he is beating the shit out of because he said he wanted to taste his blood, and he literally did it. Yeah, you different.
And they did a concert in the ring after.
You different.
Because he sings. Now, the funny thing is he's 6'9", 277, so nobody's ever going to say anything to him because he's also an undefeated heavyweight champion. So you know he can fight with being that big. So anyway, dude, this guy is he's hilarious.
And I don't know if you've ever seen any of his training videos. He's insane.
Yeah.
He don't make any sense.
Also, impeccable shape. His stamina's...
He is. His body shape belies what his true shape is.
Yeah.
You would sleep like, oh, he ain't gonna do nothing. Shit, okay.
So he said that one of the things that helped him remain undefeated is that he jerks off 7 times a day, including fight nights. So this is why I brought this in here. They always said the Mexican soccer team back in like the 90s weren't allowed to have sex 30 days before a match. That's how serious they took their shit,
like,
right?
Kill your leg. Yeah.
Tyson Fury's and so supposedly studies are like, no, your testosterone level increases post workout. It's just your sperm count that lowers.
Post workout.
Yeah, how I'm gonna put this. How do I put this one real quick? It's sports terms.
Shake and bake.
And he was just like, nah, man, right before every big fight, right before the fight. So it's just like right before he gets his hands taped up, he's just going to work on himself. Now, what I thought was hilarious about this.
So what you're saying is he's always working on himself.
Yes, he is.
An evolved human.
So what I thought was hilarious about this is, and I actually typed it in the chat during the show, by this logic, Big Ben would have had 15 Super Bowl titles.
Oh, yes, he would have.
Right?
Yeah, because he was an unstoppable force in Pittsburgh. Nothing held him back. Hey, Tiny, watch the bathroom door. I got to handle something.
The worst.
The worst.
He was such a caveman.
Yeah.
And
looked it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So funny. So, well, as we can see, the Rams have basically lost their coaching staff, which is to be expected. You get Matt Stafford back. Aaron Donald's going to come back. Odell will come back eventually. Van Jefferson, he'll return. He's going to have to.
Best receiver in the league is back.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp back. Whitworth gone. They'll have to get offensive linemen. I'm sure they'll lose a couple pieces who are going to go make some outside of like Weddle retiring. It's impossible, dude. And plus, the NFL designed on parity. You won the Super Bowl. You get the hardest schedule next year. Have fun. Have fun running that one back. Which, again, shines another spotlight on how stupid it is what the Patriots actually did. Considering that on paper they open up the season with one of the hardest schedules in the league every single year. Now, it helps that you're in the AFC East in all those years and you get 6 wins, well, 5 because you're losing in Miami. You get 5 wins basically checkmarked on your schedule consistently because you're just going to beat up on those teams. It's just too hard. It's too fucking hard to repeat. You know, what's the motivation? How motivated, if Aaron Donald is celebrating this hard, what is his motivation level to run it back? You see Tom Brady immediately after a Super Bowl title, the next day calling Alex Guerrero and the offensive coordinators being like, all right, let's go to work. Because it's always about the next one. That's I finally did it celebration. Like, I did it. I did it. That was his goal. Yeah. That was the goal. I got to get
He
one. I
did it. Yeah.
got to get one.
And I don't blame him.
No, not at all. And I don't think Tom's goal was to ever the next one. I just think getting 3 in your first 5 years, kind of being like, all right, this is what it is. We can do this.
We can do, yeah.
You know,
Like, this is a possibility. Yeah, yeah. Like,
so they were talking about, again, framing how it's impossible for anybody to do what he did. It will never happen again because you thought Patrick Mahomes had a shot because he's been to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, right? But he's only got 1 ring, and that's the difference. Tom had 3 rings in his first 5, which means he was just chasing all-time numbers at this point. I'm chasing 5 because Joe's got 4.
yeah.
And then it was 6, and then it was just, let's just go get the next one, whatever. And if he comes back and plays for any team, it's not because he loves football. He missed the game. He's coming to get another one. There's only one thing. It's Super Bowls. There's nothing else, right? So I don't see that from Aaron Donald, dude. This is a lot of celebrating. There's a lot.
He's celebrating.
It's like,
He's happy.
yeah. It's like that was it. And good for him. That was like the last stamp on you are now Mount Rushmore level defender. Because the other ones were responsible for Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
And now you are, so.
And he was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I said last time we talked. I said he was responsible for it, so that definitely gets you up there. Dion was responsible for turning 2 teams into Super Bowl type winners.
Yes, he was.
By showing up. Reggie White showed up to the Packers and won them a Super Bowl. Lawrence Taylor, 2 Super Bowls. And yeah, he was very responsible for those 2 Super Bowls. So then you get your 4th guy up there. Now it's him. He's responsible for 1. Awesome. That's awesome. I'd retire if I was him.
I retire. I know. He clearly is just crushing.
I mean, just, if you got other things you want to do in life and you're healthy, dude, just go do it. Fuck. You did it.
And, he also has a young kid, young wife. What is he, 28?
Yeah, this was only year 8.
Yeah. So he's 28, about to be 29, whatever. He can Jim Brown that thing.
Literally. And honestly, he's in such good shape and so young. He could take 2 years off and be like, I feel like go play some football.
And also, now that people are really truly seeing his personality, I mean, he lights up the camera. The camera loves him, as we say, right?
I could see him going into wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. The camera loves him. He's a ham. He's funnier than what people know. If anyone watched Hard Knocks, this is also unprecedented. Any team that was on, this is the first team that was on Hard Knocks like that has won the chip, right? So if anyone is seeing Hard Knocks, they looked at him and they were like, oh, Aaron Donald, funny. Oh, Aaron Donald is this. Aaron Donald is that. That's what people really got to know him and follow his story. He could basically write his ticket. And he's already in LA. So you don't really think they're already looking at him like, how else can we use this guy?
So
they've already called him the Incredible Hulk. He got muscles on muscles on muscles.
So it'd be funny because Gronk has that huge personality and, center of attention and looks like the Incredible Hulk and literally all those things. But Gronk's commercials are horrible. He's like when Jason went and got into the booth, it was just like, oh, this isn't working.
But Gronk is so upstate New York. Oh my God. What do you mean? Can I get that discount as well also?
I'm special too. It's just like, it's so it hurts. It hurts me to watch because I'm a Pats fan, dude. It hurts.
Horrific.
It hurts.
But you look at it okay, so when Jim Brown retired at 29, Hollywood was calling come. And he made some dope-ass movies.
That's what I'm saying. Gronk.
He made dope movies. So I don't know what Aaron Donald's skill set is yet, But I mean, but like back in the day, you looked at Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, Bernie Casey, like all these former players who didn't like went into acting. I mean, look at Joe Namath. Joe Namath's commercials were smooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
not everybody could do it.
no, they can't, and
but-
Gronk can't do it either. He's terrible at it. And it's hilarious because it's like he's calling to get a discount on insurance, and he's made $100 million in his career.
I know, so you look like an asshole.
Yeah, this is like, okay, this is completely unlikely. Gronk looks like the type of person who doesn't even have insurance. What? What? What are we talking about here? Let's just go to the hospital, dude.
Like you would be better suited, dude. Like if you went to Vivid Video, and don't even front like y'all don't know what Vivid Video is. You know what I'm talking about? Like that would be better suited, and he already has the connections in that realm.
Yeah, dude. His cheesy acting would fit perfect in there. You just do it on purpose.
Perfectly.
Dude, his commercials are so bad. They're so bad.
They're terrible.
It's literally as bad as Witten in the booth, because Jason Witten was the worst.
Jason Witten in the booth. Well, also, and you know what? I'm happy that happened because everybody knew it was Booger's turn. It was Booger McFarland's turn, and they kept him on the sidelines for Jason Witten, who literally stepped off the field and into the Monday Night Football booth when Booger McFarland had been putting in that work already.
So it just goes to show you that's a good guy. Jason Witten's a good guy. Everyone likes him.
Yeah, it's a good guy. Everybody likes him. Yeah.
Good guy. Everybody likes that guy. Would have been a backup quarterback for
right back to the field again. He was like, yeah.
Well, he was terrible. He was so bad. He was so bad, dude. It was. So Amazon is considering. Well, they're trying. Not even considering. They're trying to get Tom Brady and Sean Payton to do their Thursday night football games.
They might have a shot with Sean Payton. Tom know too many billionaires. He doing too
Honestly,
much.
as one of the world's biggest Tom Brady fans, nah, I'm cool on that.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, this shit, dude. We don't need to see you're not Peyton Manning. I don't need to see your personality at all times. I don't want to see you doing funny commercials. I don't want to see you chugging beers. I don't want to see you doing that. I don't want to see none of that shit. I want to see the Tom Brady that I know. So they ask Taylor Wan, who went to Michigan, got suspended, and he said he had one interaction with Tom Brady ever. And he said that Tom had just come off of his suspension, and Taylor Wan was suspended. So he asked him, like, yo, Tom, what the hell did you do during those 4 weeks? Because I'm, like, fucking losing my mind right now. Like, because football's so regimented. You're suspended. You don't get to go into the facilities at all.
Right.
You're home. So it's just like, what the fuck are you going to do? Tom said he went to Spain for 4 weeks. Taylor, well, that's what I'm saying. That's a different level of life.
Plus, Giselle is learning martial arts, and I saw a video. She's getting kind of nasty.
Well, that's just hilarious. Just like, all right, so I'm gonna take a 4-week break from winning these Super Bowls and just go to Spain and just hang out with my international supermodel wife and do billionaire things.
You know what I'm talking about?
To where Taylor Wan's just like, I went hunting and shit and drank beers.
Went hunting. Exactly. Do what you do best, son.
Crazy. So, I don't know what else to talk about with the Rams. I mean,
that's it.
The whole thing is really like, it's like.
Have we heard anything from Jalen Ramsey?
Nah, it's like.
You know what? That's funny. I haven't heard a peep or seen anything about Jalen Ramsey. Anything.
No, so all right, so as the Rams, considering that you are trying to run it back, now you did that, all right, whatever, there's always the next year. You still have to compete next year. Going into the draft, knowing that your draft position, which you don't really have any drafts because you gave them up to get Matt Stafford. So early round draft picks, you don't really have any. What is your focus on this team going into the draft? Well, you have to replace Whitworth. Uh, you, I don't think you have to go after a tight end because Kendall Blanton came and showed out late in the season, and then even when he got hurt, Bryce Hopkins was kind of getting busy. So they got a lot of tight ends, and maybe a receiver. I don't know. Are they happy with their running back situation?
Mm-hmm.
Are they ever happy with their running back situation? You know what? Wide receiver is a must because you got to replace Skwarnik. He's got to go. That guy sucks.
Oh yeah, yeah. I call him Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. He's got to go, dude. He was terrible.
He is terrible.
You know, and knowing that Odell's not going to be back for the majority of the season, or at least the first half of it, or however long it takes, yeah, they got to go receiver. So Whitworth gone. I don't know about the rest of their offensive line. It's so early. Free agency hasn't really started. You know, coaches are getting picked off right now. Players haven't started getting picked off. You know, so it will be interesting. I don't know. The bet won't pay out very much, but I would be willing to bet that the Rams will not win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So think about it, dude. Patriots, with all of those fucking championships, only went back-to-back once.
One time.
Pittsburgh did it twice in 8 years. Same team did it twice.
Yeah.
Who else? Niners did it once.
The
Cowboys did it once.
Yeah.
Cowboys won 3 in 4 years, correct?
Yeah.
And didn't maybe
I mean, if fucking Plaxico didn't shoot his stupid ass self, we had a shot to go back to back, but
yeah, it's too fucking hard. Yeah. Adding games, 17th game added in.
Yeah, that's another beast.
It was weird for the Rams watching that game, the amount of injuries that happened in the Super Bowl for them.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh shit, Odell's gone.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Kendall Blanton's done.
Yep.
Ah, fuck, someone else is done for the fucking... Jordan Fuller got hurt. Who else?
Well, I mean,
they had like 4 players that actually got hurt during the game. They were just like, ah, shit, they're out. And it's just like, well, it's only one game, so just, who's up next? There's no nothing. Just
can't call, you can't call anybody up from the G League.
Yeah, there's no free agency. There's no call and retire. It's just like who's got a jersey on right now? Who's next?
You can't get Eric Dickerson in the lineup real quick, even though he would have tried.
He would have, but I mean, you saw it happen in the NFC title game and the Super Bowl for the Rams. Their tight ends kept getting hurt.
Yeah,
Higbee gets hurt and Blanton kept getting hurt that shoulder. So that's why Skowronek was playing so much. Is they literally didn't have any tight ends.
Right.
So it's just like the lengthened season. Yeah, it's awesome. This was the longest season ever, and I hate that football's not happening right now. It's stupid. But you can only ask so much of these athletes. You can only push them so far. And I think it's going to be interesting if we see the 17 and then 18 game season after having that for 10 years or whatever, seeing the long-term effects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only lengths of careers, but the types of injuries that players don't really come back from. Are those the types of things that are happening?
Yeah.
Because I know, once I got into college and actually started getting hurt, and my issue was I was now putting too much torque on my ligaments that were not big enough to handle. Dude, I carried myself at 140. I was 170 pounds and running a 4.3. There was just too much torque. I kept injuring ligaments.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People don't understand that with people with speed, you're going to get these little knick-knack, paddywhack injuries in your ligaments especially. So we're talking ankles. We're talking ankles. We're talking quads. We're talking calves. Just like when Odell first came to the G's and I think he had a hamstring. I was like, yeah, that's a speed injury. I was like, for those who don't understand, yeah, you don't get it because you ain't never been fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you don't understand. Fast people understand hamstring injuries and calf injuries. So
Yeah, I had an Achilles in college that just popped up because
Achilles.
It just popped up out of nowhere. Just like, what the
Absolutely.
fuck?
Because you are the force. There's so much force in your explosion, right? That you're putting a lot of pressure on those, and then especially back then, we were not as advanced in health and recovery and the tweaking the training so that we know when to go hard and know when to scale back. We build so that we're building upon what we're doing. We just went hard all the time.
At all times.
Pound, 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 pound. It wasn't the build like they do now. So yeah.
Too much torque, dude. Knee injury, ankle injury.
Absolutely.
And then my shoulder injury actually happened because of just being too goddamn fast and athletic. Because when I jumped to make that play that I missed, I was so high and moving so fast that my axis flipped and I ended up landing in there's no way I should have landed vertically like that.
Yeah. You're you're jumping with violence, you're twisting with violence, and you're landing with violence. The worst part, you're landing with violence.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's awesome to have a 40-something inch vertical.
Yeah.
But if you jump and you don't get the land on your own accord, it is a violent landing because you just fell from 4 feet.
Let me tell you, that bitch hurt.
Yes. Dead weight from 4 feet. And it's not dead weight because you actually have force and momentum already happening.
Yeah, she hurt real good, too.
Yeah.
And then you're landing on, Lord knows what you're landing on because you played on turf.
Well, so
on concrete.
whenever I used to like jump up and grab the rim, I used to be one of those ones that I have to look and be like, all right, that's a long way down. I'm going to have to land this one properly.
Or also, especially being fast, if you're running, and you jump and you grab and you swing
out.
And if your hand slips,
Go straight back.
Or someone clips you, someone undercuts you like a bitch. Yeah, coming down on that parquet.
So that's the only time I ever missed a game in my high school career. Same scenario. I'm running a LeBron chase down block. Mm-hmm. Dude goes up. I try to get it from behind. I end up catching the top rung of the net right below the rim. My finger got caught into it. Leg swung all the way out, and I unhooked from the net and literally just torpedoed right into the wall with my ankle sticking out. It was our home gym, which very tiny means out of bounds.
Oh yeah.
Wall.
Yup.
With the padding. The pad right there under the rim, so in case you do get slammed into the wall, there's at least that wrestling mat.
So what you saying? You come from a podunk town, shuck 'em up?
Shuck 'em up. Didn't play nobody.
Didn't play nobody. Oh, man.
So I saw a skit. That's why I brought that up. I saw a skit that this dude was just... These two had played together in high school.
Mm.
And the interviewer was interviewing this guy who's in the NFL now, and he was just like, so I hear you've done it all. You won a state title? He was just like, well, yeah, you did too. You were there. And he was just like, yeah, but our competition was better. You played in some podunk town in the middle of nowhere. You didn't play anybody. He's like, we were on the same team. He was just like, yeah, but we played real.
You got the same state championship.
Yeah, so he kept saying that. It's just that I instantly texted you. I'm just like, I feel offended because I'm from a middle of a shuck-a-muck town and we didn't play anybody either. Dude, we played a team that fielded 13 players before. How do you practice with 13 players? If 2 get hurt, you're down. You're done.
Yeah, you tired. I don't. Oh, I don't know if you have Paramount Plus. If you do, if you get access to it. Texas, it's called Texas 6. So it's that 7-man, 6-man football, right? In these small, real small, shuck-em-up towns in Texas, where you're playing everybody. If you're in the game, you're playing the whole game. You're playing both ways. It's fascinating to watch. It's crazy. Texas 6. Check it out. I even forget the little small ass Texas town they were in.
Well,
But,
I mean, one of the years that I played, we barely had enough players to have full practice, and we were successful. Our teams were good. It's just like when you only have 230 kids in your whole school, it's like.
But this is like these guys play knowing that their football glory is high school.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like these guys typically don't go to college to play football. They go back to the farm. Their true glory is in like the rodeo or showing their pigs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
like with some other shit.
Yeah, I grew up like that.
Well, shuck 'em up.
Shuck a buck, you goddamn right, dude. That's what I told you. The whole goal is how do I get out of here?
Right.
All right, I'm really fast, so let's just do this. I'm just gonna run my way out of here.
You were just fast enough.
Just fast enough to get myself into college, and just fast enough to get myself here. And then I haven't ran since then.
Yeah.
If I ran now, I would blow both Achilles. My knee might be done. I know my lungs won't work. I'm definitely. You know what's funny though? As a speed athlete, I have never pulled a muscle in my legs. In my entire life, it's never happened once. I was just thinking about that. I've had ligament injuries. I've never pulled a hamstring. I never had like a calf issue.
Yeah.
I find it funny that
I've gotten Charlie's. I've never like torn any of them.
like we talked about, like that hamstring thing is a real thing for receivers.
It's a real thing. Oh, it's a real thing. I've had like my got tight, but then I knew when to pull up and be like, okay, nope, I'm gonna sit this out. I never tried to run through a thing because I'm not trying to tear.
I've just never had that ever.
Yeah. Well, I knew how to stretch. You know, I knew how to prep. I went to my acupuncture guy, and he asked me if I ever tore my Achilles. And I was like, nah. He said, that's amazing. He said, because your calves are so tight, so like, I feel like if you take one more step, they're gonna pop. And I'm like, oh no, I worked on my calves like a monster. Like, I mean, like, you have no idea, like, how I used to work my legs. So I was like, nah. And if I ever felt any tightness, I immediately stopped because I refused to tear anything. And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Well,
right,
I mean,
I need to stretch more, and I need to hydrate more right now.
yeah, my calves were just a result of growing up in the mountains where you are constantly going up or down a steep grade at all times.
Mine were from Subway, Iron Horse. I'm up and downstairs all day, every day. Plus, I grew up near a spot called Foothill, so I used to run those hills all the time. It was like it was literally other side of the tracks or other side of the avenue. My avenue, that's where shit got poor. On the other side, that's where you had the mansions and all that, and it was like hills everywhere. So I used to just run through the hills, look at the houses and all that, but then run out real quick so that nobody thought I was trying to steal nothing.
You know what the Rams should have done there in L.A.? They should have, like, had a boat parade in the ocean and then pulled up to the L.A. pier where the Ferris wheels and had their Super Bowl celebration there, like on the boardwalk or something.
They should have, like, go right to Santa Monica Pier.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Right
talking
there
about.
with the Ferris wheel and all
Exactly, that would have been epic because I thought since the Bucks pushed it to the next level by having a fucking boat parade and shit where they're like have kegs on the boats and there's fans out there.
But I do have to say this. If you ever been to Santa Monica Pier, you also know about the humongous Santa Monica Pier homeless community.
Yeah.
Where I walked through there and I was like, oh, this is a whole community out here. And they aggressive.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever encountered more aggressive homeless people in my life. Maybe also in Portland, but I almost had a homeless dude snatch food I just got out of my hands, thinking that I wanted to give it away. I had to clutch my food like an old lady clutches her pearls.
That's hilarious.
I was like, sir, I just got this food.
Sir, Portland is pretty much like that. That's crazy with Santa Monica like that, because the last time I was in Santa Monica, it was Muscle Beach, Santa Monica Pier, fucking the skate park, you know, like the basketball courts, all that. All of it was exactly like it looked like in every movie and every video. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And now it's not even close.
I know. We could shoot. You know what we should do? We should go out there and shoot A White Man Can't Jump Too.
Well, except this time it will be a real short movie. It'll be like the title.
Real short movie.
White Men Can't Jump, and it's just going to be zoom in on me real quick and be like, nah, I can't jump anymore, yo.
Can't jump. That's it. I'll be like, I told y'all.
The end. Yeah. We got to do that, yo. We have to do that. It'll be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. Because it's true. This ankle, I ain't jumping no more. Yo, my shit hurts after I play a round of golf. I'm just like, there's nothing athletic. There's no explosiveness coming out of this anymore.
Let me tell you something. At this point in time, your warm-up and your cool-down have to be longer than your gameplay. We used to play basketball all day long, football all day long, barely stretched, barely cooled down. Our warm-up and cool-down have to be the longest part. The gameplay has to be this long.
Yeah, it's nuts. And now none of that's even happening. I'm only playing golf, people.
Word.
All right, homie. So, yeah, next week we'll see what happens. Free agency, Combine, it's coming up.
Combine, yes.
Combine's coming up.
I don't know if you caught any of it. I've not had any time to catch any of it. I've caught like who they're looking at. The names, I caught a couple of DB names. Obviously, they're looking at Derek Stingley out of LSU.
The kid from Cincinnati.
Who has not had a touchdown scored on him in his entire collegiate career, which, damn. There's another corner who's only had I think he had maybe 10 or 14.
Well, I think the draft is very offensive and defensive lineman heavy, this one.
Yeah, but the corners, if you can get one of these, there's 4 corners out there that are...
Well, everyone knows that the quarterbacks aren't the thing in this one. So the one thing that they're saying about Kenny Pickett is a gamer and whatnot, they're scared about his small hands. Yeah. But...
And then the Ole Miss dude, I forget his name right now.
Yeah, but Kenny Pickett did play at Pitt. It's cold, It snows there, whatever. But that NFL football is a little bit bigger. Yeah. So it's different. But he said strict.
They like the kid out of Ole Miss, even though I forget his name. But also we got to look at, obviously, Hutchinson's coming out. Thibodeau from Oregon.
So I'm seeing on all mock drafts, they got Thibodeau down at 6 or 7. And I'm just like...
To the G's.
If he'd have came out last year, he'd have been number 1. That's hilarious.
So if Thibodeau slips to the G's and we do not grab him, don't call me, don't text me.
Oh, I am.
I know you will. I'm telling you right now.
I am.
Because I'm telling you, I'm probably going to be out in the streets going straight to the facility and smacking somebody.
Yeah, no, that'd be a stupid one. There's sometimes, when players, you could see why the first couple picks might not take them, might not be their most glaring need.
Right.
And plus he's coming off an injury, kind of slips him down a couple spots. But, the G-men or whatnot, it's just you idiots.
We absolutely need that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you retards? What are you doing?
And there's that kid out of Georgia, some African last name, who's a tackle. Yeah, we could do that, but there's a lot of other great offensive linemen that we could get. We're like 2 or 3 picks apart. Trust me, you get the pass rusher first, then you get the pass protector.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, like keep building the D and then pause. And then, like, because Danny Dum Dum, whatever, you just get the next lineman and see how that works out, and just keep building more linemen if you can. And because right now we need what we can get, and we need to build on the side of the ball where we can actually make an impact. And on offense, I just don't believe we can make an impact right now. But on defense, we can make an impact if we get the right players.
So it's interesting because both New York teams have the same draft scenario. 2 picks within the top 18, separated by 2 or 3 picks in between them, which is a lot of draft capital. Do you package these things together to move up to go grab somebody? Is there somebody worth even moving to grab? No. Do you think with having so much draft capital and no big names, like, those corners are going to go early, that guy from Georgia is going early, there's going to be offensive linemen off the board early. Do you think that these idiots would actually move back to gain more picks?
Dan?
Yeah.
No.
I could see them actually taking one of those and moving back with it.
Like, you moved back to get Kadarius Toney, and then you didn't even use him right, but you also had the wrong offensive coordinator to begin with. And then you didn't take, and then at 10, what happened? Justin Fields goes to Chicago. Now, the jury's still out on Justin Fields, yes, obviously. But
he's also in Chicago, so it might not be his fault.
Right. Exactly. So you didn't get the receiver, Devontae Smith, that you wanted. And then you gave up your spot. And then you could have still had Micah Parsons. You could have got this guy, who, again, danger. You whiffed.
I can just see them.
And then you got a receiver who didn't even you.
That's what I'm saying. I could with a team with so.
But that's ghetto fuck.
Yeah.
I don't even call him ghetto man. That's ghetto fuck. So let's see what Shane does. Hopefully Shane is a lot. Shane, he has a good track record with the Bills. So hopefully he won't make those stupid decisions. Now, he's already trying to get rid of Saquon, and I like it, and James Bradbury. So we will be in the market for a corner. But we need to get, and I say this all the time, you know, Joe, if you cannot get pressure on the opposing quarterback, your defense is a waste of time.
It is 100%. So
how good your corners and safeties and linebackers are, if you cannot get pressure on the opposing quarterback, your defense is a waste of time.
So if Saquon's on the board, Bradbury on the board, this is a wholesale rebuild.
They're trying to create $40 million of cap space. This is an entire rebuild. So this is why I'm saying do not sign Danny Dum Dum to the 5th-year option. But yeah, let him play this season out and let him do dumb things. He's not even going to play the whole season. He's going to get hurt.
Okay, now I can see all this because now you can say that Daboll and the GM definitely have like a 3 to 5 year leash because they know they're going to be trash this year. If they're getting rid of those two.
Absolutely. We're going to be trash.
Acquiring draft capital, which will be future draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
And then also shedding salary cap, probably looking to make a free agent quarterback move next season.
Mm-hmm.
Because this season, realistically...
Oh, you mean when Deshaun Watson's issues finally clear up?
Yeah.
And he'll still be young?
Yeah, so this kind of makes sense now. I'm not saying that it's the path that should have been taken because the whole... you guys have been mismanaged for years. Completely mismanaged for years. It's been terrible. It's been funny, but it's been terrible.
Oh, funny for some.
I mean, you don't like to see teams mire in mediocrity for long stretches. Like, you don't like to see it.
Especially, like, foundational teams. It's like the Knicks and the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah.
The league is better when those teams are balling. Chicago's playing better, and it's great for Chicago. Like there's certain teams that the entire league is better when those teams are good.
So it was funny because the Patriots have kind of actually worked themselves into being one of those teams, because that year that they were off, it was just like, it's kind of weird. And then they got themselves back into the discussion, like, hey, the hoodie's back. This is awesome.
But when you do it for 20 years, then people are like, well, this is now weird that you're not good.
Yeah, they actually.
Yeah, but if you remember old Patriots, they were like, oh yeah, they suck.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're terrible. Last note: the Bucks are bringing back the creamsicle uniforms for alternate uniform this season, which the NFL has relaxed their single helmet rule, and they're allowed to have 2 helmets fitted at the beginning of the season. So now they can have their alternate uniform games. There'll probably be 2 per season. 1 home, 1 road.
NFL needs to take a whole enema and relax a lot of things. Because like what we said with the overtime rules, how both teams should really get a legit chance. They're not even going to do that, not this year, probably the following year. They just need to go ahead and just do it already. Just do it already.
You know what's funny about this, Kerry? It's like all this technology to make these helmets, right? And then they're like, you get one.
You can only wear one.
You can only have one, and that is your helmet for the year. It's impossible to duplicate that exact same one, but a different color on the outside. We can't do it. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
So dumb.
All right, so like when we had one year where we had practice helmets, because I told we only had like 20-some players, but we were really good. So they were like, yeah, let's not fuck up our helmets for the game. Let's have practice. Thought it was a good idea. Really hurt having 2 helmets, trying to make them fit, because you never really wore your game helmet ever, so it didn't really. But to get around that, what I did is I just took all the pads out, everything out from the inside of the practice one, and put it into the shell of the game one, fit just like that. You know, I was just like, this is so stupid that they're just now allowing them, especially with the revenue that they earn from those extra jerseys and all that extra merch and all that shit. You're also removing the historical context of some of these franchises by not allowing them to go back to like the Bucks with the creamsicle.
Joe, every NFL owner is a fucking billionaire.
Yeah, I know.
What are we talking about?
No, not everyone.
Well,
Al Davis, Davis is not a billionaire.
Mark Davis?
Mark Davis, it's a couple $100 million, but he's not a billionaire. He just happens to own the Raiders because his dad owned them.
Daddy. Oh, wow.
Now,
he also has the most ridiculous haircut I think I've ever seen in life.
Well, you can clearly see that he is not capable of generating more money. He has the worst decisions ever. He's had that haircut forever. So you got to look at all the other teams. Bought for millions, eventually $100 million or whatever. All of them have turned into billion-dollar franchises, and all of the owners have become billionaires or were billionaires in the process. Al Davis was foundational.
Yeah.
Back when the teams were $80 and, you know,
and a pack of cools.
A pack of cools or something, right? And one of those cool shimmery Raiders jackets that Al Davis always used to wear, right? So this is a legacy thing. It's like Jerry Jones buying the Cowboys for $10 million or whatever, something crazy what it was, and now it's
crazy.
Now it's worth like $10 billion or something like.
Yeah, stupid. Yeah.
But in the process, he also became multi-billion. You know, Robert Kraft bought the Patriots for like $30 million or something stupid, and now it's billions and billions and billions because they also have built success into it.
For sure.
The Raiders, it's just they're an NFL franchise, so by de facto you're worth billions. Even the Bengals are worth.
And they're worldwide.
Well, yeah.
There are people around the world who wear Raiders shit. Who don't even know what fucking football is.
Thanks, Ice Cube. So.
Yay!
So with the Bengals, they seem to be worth billions of dollars, even though they're not really worth billions of dollars on paper. They don't have a state-of-the-art stadium. They lack in spending on their team itself. No scouting department. That's incredible. No practice facilities.
Guess what? She coming.
Yeah, no, they got Joey Boyband.
Oh, she coming.
They have to. I found this whole season, this playoff run, you learn things about the team. Their practice facility is actually under a highway. Like one of the corners of their practice field is a highway goes. Like, come on, Bengals. Come on, Bengals. It's like a cement factory in the background of it or something.
That's some shit for the replacements.
Exactly.
Yeah. He about to change that whole
Well,
thing.
this is why I'm glad they actually didn't win. Because if they would have won, not spending any money, the owners would have thought we don't have to spend money to win.
Yeah.
Now you can at least convince them, like, we're one step away.
Well, if they did win, Joey Boyband would have been like, yo, guess what? Some shit needs to... some changes need to come around here. Because he could be like...
Yeah, but have you known...
He would still have some power. He would have some power.
He would, but...
He has power already.
Have you known any of these billionaires to be like, yeah, okay, well, I'm going to do what you want?
This is true. I mean, yes, this is true. But can you imagine an entire fan base? Like, he would have to pull the ultimate power play and say, all right, as soon as this rookie contract is done, I'm looking around. Hey, that team out in Tampa look good. That team out in New Orleans look good. That team over there in Cleveland looks good.
Yeah, I hope that he doesn't have a career where he doesn't get one. And the fault would be because of the organization.
I need Joey Boyband to get one.
Well, Kerry, you and we all know if they didn't, it would literally be organizational fault. It would because they didn't pull the right moves around this. And it'd be like, oh, you guys ruined this one.
Because that kid is a winner.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. No question about it.
Fucking awesome.
No question about it. That's what I said. I was like, as much as I love Herbert, and I told you straight up, I was like, yo, that guy got all the tools. He got everything. I was like, it's just boy band.
I think with
that extra thing, he got that extra juice.
Okay, so seeing what Tom has done kind of skews what you think is capable and possible, right? So you look at Herbert and you think this guy could win like one or two. Mm-hmm. Elway 2, Rodgers 1. You might get one, you maybe get two. Maybe. You look at Joey Boyband and you're like, yo, this guy could win like 6.
Right. Yo. And yeah, because he makes you believe like what's losing? Like, nah, we don't lose.
It's like
we don't lose.
It's like when Kobe became himself. It was just like, well, this guy's going to win like, multiple titles. Like, it's going to happen.
When Kobe had one of the shittiest shooting Game 7 finals ever, he grabbed 18 rebounds from the 2 spot. He was like, it's not going for me shooting, but guess what? I'm going to grab these 18. And then he hit key free throws to seal the deal. Because he saw a way. He's like, all right, it ain't going this way, but I can help this way. Russell Westbrook.
All right, so being a huge Tim Duncan fan, you saw it early. This guy's going to win multiple titles because he's the reason that they won 2 very early on.
Listen, when it was that strike-shortened season in '99, they went against the Knicks. I wasn't worried about David Robinson, David Robinson was already on a Hall of Fame track. And you should be worried about him. I was worried about Tim Duncan. Because I know what I saw at Wake Forest. And I knew what he was going to be in the league. I was like, this kid is unstoppable. You can't stop him. There's no one who can stop him. And nobody has stopped him. Ever. Nobody stopped him. Ever.
Nope.
Throughout his career.
Yeah, huge Tim Duncan fan. Everybody knows it. Wake Forest. Let's go. So, my favorite Tim Duncanness is...
You know who else went to Wake Forest? Muggsy Bogues.
Randolph Childress.
Yeah.
That was my guy, Randolph.
I know Randolph Childress is my guy, too. Him and Travis Best.
No, Travis Best went to Georgia Tech.
I know him and Travis Best had some legendary...
Oh, okay. Well,
that's what I was going to say.
Stephon Marbury, too.
Yeah.
His freshman year that he played.
Well, G-Tech, it was, yeah. When he was there. Oh, also, Kenny Anderson. When Kenny Anderson was there, Dennis Scott was like a senior.
So, young Tim Duncan went up against Shaq in a playoff series and averaged over 40 on him.
Let me tell you something.
Dominated him.
Shaq did not give respect to a lot of his peers. He didn't do it. He most definitely gave respect to Tim Duncan. He gave respect to some of the guys before him, especially Hakeem. Hakeem, Patty Ewing, Tim Duncan, David Robinson.
Well, I mean, he knew with Tim because, like, with Tim, all right, I can go down low and hit one of these little baby hooks on you. I got great footwork. I'm smarter than you. Or I'm just going to go out to 15 feet and hit bankers on you all day, Shaq.
And he did not give real true respect to Alonzo Mourning until they were teammates. Until they were teammates and won together.
Well, I think that's just like that was more of a rivalry thing.
Well, because they came into the league together.
They came into the league together.
Yeah.
And there were people that were saying that Alonzo was better than Shaq coming out of college and all that.
So he always shat on him. Always.
Yeah. And, you know, Alonzo was very fiery. He liked to fight. He liked to fight, so.
Well, you know, he grew up in foster homes. You know what I'm saying? He went from the foster homes to the NBA. You got to respect that.
You know, I'll never forget Steve Van Gundy wrapped around his ankles. Or Jeff Van Gundy. Jeff Van Gundy. Steve's kind of big. Jeff Van Gundy wrapped around.
That would have been a whole nother situation.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been able to move there. But yeah, Jeff Van Gundy wrapped around his ankles, him actually walking with him on there like he's a toddler, getting into a fight. Like, what are you doing? Trying to shake him off.
I know, that was the worst.
All right, homie. It's I'm gonna go hang out with the wolf and go do some other shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, off season. I'll see you next week. All right, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna go do some other shit.